where we pride ourselves in being authentic and bringing you the truth, not like mainstream media who are biased. So we try to show both sides, the Democratic side, the Republican side, and even the independent side of everything that's going on in our news today. So today we're going to talk about Trump DHS. It's an app, a self-deportation app that he's presenting, and what he is saying is that if you choose to self-deport, that they would pay for the flight, and once you arrive, you would receive $1,000. So altogether, it's like a $4,500 stipend that's going to be given to the immigrants. And he's saying that it will save American citizens 17,000. That's how much it costs to deport a migrant, like to capture them, detain them, and deport them. And this way, that it would save taxpayers money. So we want to hear what the president has to say. Elijah Essence is doing high Essence. So anyway, we want to get into it because, like, when you got millions of people, it can add up, and it's going to cost us more to deport than it is to keep them inside of the country.
Good evening to you as well. Come into this country illegally through an administration that didn't know what they were doing. They didn't have a clue, and now we find out officially they didn't because the president was incompetent. But I could have told you that before. And they've allowed millions and millions of people to pour in: murderers, drug dealers, the biggest drug dealers in the world, actually, terrorists come in, emptied prisons from many countries, not just South America, all over the world. They emptied their prisons into our beautiful USA. And to get that many people, 21 million people we think the real number is, but let's say 3 million of them are serious criminals. 11,888 murderers, many of whom murdered more than one person. It's hard to believe we have to even talk about this when we're talking about something so beautiful, but it's something we have to talk about having to do with the country because it's very important. So they came in by the millions illegally into our country. They just flowed in through an open border policy that was insane. And what we've done is we've offered, you know the numbers, but because we're taking them out by the thousands, we're being obstructed. It's very unfair what's happening because the court system it's very unfair. We have to get them out fast. These are bad people. These are people that are killing, and they've already killed many people in this country. The illegal immigrants that came in illegally through an open border policy, which is insane. We talk about common sense. That's not common sense. And they came in from the Congo, all over Africa, all over Asia, all over South America, parts of Europe. They flowed in and just walked right into our country. We had no idea who they were. 21 million at least. That's probably a low number. You know, you hear lower numbers than that. It's not. That's a low number. But many are really serious criminals and terrorists and people from jails. They emptied out jails. You know, Venezuela, their crime is down 72% because they took all the criminals off the streets and the gangs and they dumped them into our country. So we're getting them out. It's a very difficult thing with the courts because the courts have all of a sudden, out of nowhere, they said, maybe you have to have trials. We're going to have 5 million trials. Doesn't work. Well, you wouldn't have a country left. But hopefully the Supreme Court will save it. But what they've done is a very, very serious thing. You know, past presidents took out hundreds of thousands of people when needed. You look at Eisenhower, you look at many of them, and they took people out and they didn't go through any of this. But what we thought we'd do is a self-deport, where we're going to pay each one a certain amount of money, and we're going to get them a beautiful flight back to where they came from, and they have a period of time. And if they make it, we're going to work with them so that maybe someday, with a little work, they can come back in if they're good people, if they're the kind of people that we want in our company, industrious people that could love our country. And if they're not, they won't. But it will give them a path to becoming, to coming back into the country. If they miss that limit, they're going to be taken out of our country. And they will never get a path to come back in. And it'll be a much tougher process. And it's called self-deportation. And by doing that, you're talking about so many millions of people. By doing that, we've taken out thousands of terrorists, drug lords. What we've done is amazing. And as your Tom Homan and Christy Nome have done an incredible job. They really have done an incredible job, but it's a hard job. So we're going to have a self-deportation where they deport themselves out of our country, and we'll work with them, and we're going to try. And if we think they're good, they have the people we want in our country, they're going to come back into our country. We'll give them a little easier route. But if they don't work, and if we take them out after the date, then they're never coming back, and that's the least of the problems that they're going to have. Yeah, please.
So anyway, Trump is like pushing that today. I felt as though that was interesting. I don't know how many people will support or will illegal immigrants self-deport. So what I don't know if people have heard about it, but what Trump is saying is that it costs. Now we have millions. They're projecting that it's at least between 14 and 20 million illegal immigrants in the last 4 years. I imagine that had entered into the country. Now, we as a country, we know that it's unsustainable, that we have to do something because of the cost and effect that it's having on American people. We know that the previous administration, they didn't care about the people, whether they needed asylum or whether they were running from harms or whatever was going on. The purpose of the legal immigrants for coming into this country was all about votes. Votes equal power. It's always about power and it's always about money. And this was something that I guess the Democratic Party came up with, that they said that, well, we know that we have a lockdown on the black vote. We don't have to promise black people anything. 93% black Americans voted for the Democrats and they promised us nothing. All they do is every 4 years, they promise black Americans what they're going to do for us, and they do nothing. So, they say it's insanity if you keep on, someone keep telling you the same thing and you're expecting a difference, and you keep doing the same thing, then they consider it insanity, which I guess it is in this case. Because we have to come to a point as black Americans that we have to look at policy. We have to look at how this candidate is going to, benefit us as a people, as Americans, all of us. And that's when Trump came to the table, which a lot of black people, I'm on a black subject right now, I don't know why, but have started listening and start realizing that he's done more for us as a black community than all the Democrats in the last 60 years have done that have been in office. They're not doing anything for black Americans. So anyway, now we come to the legal immigrants. So he's saying, if you come into the people that came into the country, this is what I'm gonna do for you. It's cheaper for us for you to self-deport, because if we have to deport you, we have to arrest you, we have to detain you, then we have to deport you. Each person is going to cost us over $17,000 per person. So imagine millions of people, how that's going to become. What is that going to become? Trillions? For them to leave, but it's costing us all this money for them to stay. And like what the previous administration has done, they put this burden on this country. And what Trump is saying, well, if we do a DHS act, they can self-deport. We're going to pay for their flight. We're going to give them $1,000 to leave. And we're going to make it so that we will work with them, that eventually they can come back legally. So I think it gives the United States to build ourselves back up. Because right now we're $36 trillion in debt. So we can't even afford to have them here, to try to send them out at the cost. And in keeping them here, they're putting a burden on our Medicare, on our housing. It's like being a burden because it's too many people all at once. And so what Trump wants to do is allow, and he said the people that do take this option, they're going to be put on a list, because you have to remember there are millions of people already on the list that have gone through the process, that have done what they're supposed to do, have been vetted, and have been waiting to become citizens. But because all that has happened, now they haven't been processed, and they don't have enough judges to carry this out anyway. So I don't know what you guys think about. Do you think that that's a good idea? And it will save taxpayer dollars. It's all about on our dime. Everything's on the taxpayer dime. Everything is according to our money, and we can't afford any of it. But now we've been put in a situation that I think we kind of look like the bad guy in a sense, because we had a president administration that didn't care about the American people, because with that administration, Democrats, Americans are last. They don't fight for Americans. Only thing they do is have that same what they do is their agenda is to have everyone hating Trump. That's the only agenda. There's no solutions. There's no, like, let's bring down housing costs, let's lower interest rates. What can we do for the American? Let's help, American vets, or let's get our vets off the street, homeless Americans. Like, there's no agenda for Americans at all. There is none. They have no leader, there's no solution. So as long as they can keep us focusing on hating Trump and making Trump their whole campaign, they're not running for anything, but they're doing everything to deflect their responsibility, because they're supposed to be fighting for us as Americans. No matter what, your neighbor, regardless of who your neighbor voted for, whoever that politician that's elected in your district or whatever, they have to represent all the people. Because you're going to have people that voted for, say the congressman is a Democrat. He still is the congressman for the people that voted Republican. So what affects one affects all. And that's what they need to understand. You're fighting against, instead of supporting the president and get things done, all they do, they wake up, everything they're doing is to get you to hate the man, when they're gaslighting us, because we should be focused on the people that caused all this mess. The immigrants didn't cause this. Trump didn't cause this. He wasn't even president. But they're putting everything in his lap. Everything we're going through, just because he got sworn into office January the 20th, that administration, what they have done is still going to affect this country for years to come. And that's a fact. A fact. And what they're doing now is fighting tooth and nail to continue us focusing on Trump, no matter what he does. Because is there anything that he can do right? Is there anything? So anything, but they don't come up with anything positive. They're not coming up with a solution. I don't want to hear, one thing about it, God gives you discernment. That, all that gaslighting, I was one of them, because Black, we vote Democrats. So I campaigned, I pushed, I did all I could to get Biden, Kamala elected in 2020. And we succeeded. But I had no idea that their agenda wasn't about the American people. It wasn't about any of us. It was about opening up our borders so that they will be able to have enough people come over those borders, so that they would be able to take these illegal immigrants, and they want to legalize them and make them citizens, because with the Black vote and with the legal immigrants and other white people and everybody else they gaslighted, then they felt as though they could retain power, because you don't have to do anything for Black people. And they say, we're generation after generation, we're voting for people that keep us suppressed, people that aren't doing anything for us, for our votes. And Republicans say, well, we can win without you. We can win anyway. So they get the immigrants, they say, okay, we got this block on lockdown, we get them, then we can continue winning. And even though that's why Trump had ran his election saying it's too big to rig. And that was intentional, because they did have them voting. They did give these people Social Security numbers. Some of these people, millions, did vote in our elections. And they had no right, because they don't get to choose our president. Just like I can't go over to France or Germany or anywhere and choose their president. You have to be a citizen of that country to determine who's going to lead. And they took away our rights when they did that. And I have a problem with that. I have a problem, because that's not against the people. It's against the people that's doing this to us. And as long as they have us focusing on Trump, deranged syndrome, then we're never going to hold them accountable. And that's the game. Y'all got to understand game. I guess like when you got to learn game. They're playing game. This is the house of cards. They're playing game on American citizens. They're distracting us while they do nothing. Their agenda, the Democratic Party agenda, is not about American citizens. And that's a fact. They're not focusing on what they can do for us. Look what they have done to us. And guess what? The media and the mainstream media, they're brilliant. All you gotta do is keep telling people something over and over and over and over again, and then you believe it. You believe it. 93% of the time, they have said Trump was Hitler. He's a threat to democracy. All the things that they said, they even had us believing like he was the president the last 4 years, that he's been responsible for everything that's been going on. And that's a lie from hell. But they're good. We got 93% people saying you Hitler, you're a threat to democracy, you're a felon, you're all this, and we're believing it. Oh, we got to stop him. You know, he's fascist, he's a king, and all this stuff. While they are wolves in sheep clothing, and what happens that they are our elected officials, and we're supposed to hold them just as responsible as anyone else, especially get this. They did this.
Thank you, Sonia.
They did this. But we're so brainwashed. I see the people out there protest. Guess what? I'm an organizer. I'm an activist. You see hands off, all that. That's me. That's what I would have been doing. I've been to Washington. I throw those big rallies. You can look at some of the videos. I'm with Biden with selfies. Okay, I have so many receipts from Bernie Sanders, all of them. I'm in the room. And I was gaslighted. Because I only listened to MSNBC, CNN, ABC, CBS. I thought they were preaching the gospel.
Black Diamond, where's your proof to that? To the Big Bang Theory and evolution theory. I'll wait.
You know, so it's crazy what's been going on. And guess what? We're all suckers. All they got to do is keep on just speaking hate. When do they speak about us? When do the Democratic Party, when do you hear them speaking about what are they going to do for Americans?
They speak about Kilmar.
An illegal immigrant. A legal immigrant is their poster child. A man that they know for a fact that has beaten his wife. A man for a fact that they know he's from MS-13. 2 judges have already declared that. A man that they wanted to have deported ever since 2019. A man that's been before 17 judges, some of them twice. A man that's cost us $5 million and not one penny has he had to pay. A man that was deported back to his country. He got deported home. He's home. But we're supposed to spend all this time and money and effort on him when you had 2 Maryland victims from El Salvadorians that brutally murdered Rachel Morin, and her senator flew out to El Salvador, Van Hollen. He flew out, and he had one of his constituents' daughter with 5 kids was brutally murdered.
Katrina, you could look this up yourself.
Brutally murdered, bashing her head 25 times, raped, then threw up against the wall, threw her down, raped her again, and choked her to death. This woman fought for her life. He didn't even give condolences to that family like he should have. If he did.
Hello, friend said Bernie Sanders been speaking for us. The government just won't let him back in. What?
Yeah, the government you know what? Bernie been saying the same thing for the last 20 years. Find that oligarchy. We got to show. Bernie is almost 87 years old, or however old he is. He's not speaking for any of us. We are so blinded. What have they said that they're going to do for us? Because only thing you want to see, this is what Bernie been doing since 1993. Now, I thought when him and AOC they're doing this tour around the United States, and guess what? AOC has the worst borough probably in the United States of America. Her district is trash.
It's bad down there.
And it's horrible. But instead of taking care of the American citizens, she's running around with Bernie Sanders. And guess what? I didn't know he'd been saying the same thing for all these different presidents and these people. Bernie is he's full of it.
Respect to you too. They said respect to us.
This is Bernie.
United States of America, this great country, our country, this
Oligarchy for years.
moving very rapidly in the direction of oligarchy.
Listen to this.
Oligarchy.
Look at this gas. Look at this.
Start off with the bad news, which is pretty bad, and that is that under Donald Trump, this country is hurtling.
Thank you
rapidly
so much.
to an
God bless you.
This great country of ours.
Look at this,
United States of
1993.
America,
Look,
this
every
great
year,
country,
oligarchy.
Our country, this entire planet is moving very rapidly in the direction
Been saying the
of
same
oligarchy,
darn
oligarchy,
thing.
Oligarchy.
This is so unbelievable.
Start off with the bad
Now
news,
he told,
which
look,
is pretty bad.
I thought he only
And
said
that
it with
is that
Trump.
under
Look at
Donald
this
Trump,
man.
This country is hurtling rapidly.
We got to hear this again.
This great country of ours, United
1993,
States of America,
1994, 2014, 17, 18.
very rapidly in the direction of oligarchy.
Oligarchy. That's the tour they're doing now. Look how many years. He's always said this.
Oligarchy.
1,000 years later.
Start off with the bad news, which is pretty bad, and that is that under Donald Trump, this country is hurtling rapidly to an oligarchy.
This great country of
Now,
ours, United
look,
States of America.
that's
this
called
great country.
gaslighting us. If I didn't see that tape, I didn't know that this man's been saying that almost every year since 1993. Trump wasn't president. He's been saying that almost every year.
Yeah, Michael said placing men in ladies' rooms equals Democrat.
I mean, you know why? This is crazy. That's Bernie Sanders. And AOC, she's trying to tell illegal immigrants how to break our laws.
Love you too.
It's as long as we don't open up our eyes. And you know what I fault Democrats is that you're not holding the Democratic Party responsible when they did this to this country. We're all victims of the freaking Democratic Party. And that's a fact. We're victims of the Democratic Party. And they're gaslighting. When they're out there protesting and they talking about hands off and they talk about fascism and Trump this and Trump that and all that, they're doing nothing for us. They're the ones, the reason why we have high interest rates. They're the responsible for inflation. They're responsible for 2 wars that we've been putting all this money into. They're responsible for high prices. They're the ones responsible for open borders.
Oh, love you too.
They are the ones. But when do y'all say anything?
Jones sent angry comment.
Why don't you say hold them accountable? They were in office
They said
for 12 of the last 16 years. Hold their goddamn feet to the fire.
They said he taking away all your rights as a black woman. You got that black man standing by you, both y'all crazy.
I say you're crazy.
I had to read that.
You're crazy. You know what? God bless you. Because you know what? At the end of the day, you got to pray that God opens up your eyes.
Michael, then write a point that counters our points and dismantles our points.
It's just amazing. What have the Democrats done for you? What do they talk? When do they talk about you? You know who they talk about? Kilmar. They all the times that they flying over about Kilmar Garcia, allegedly a MS-13 gang member.
God bless you too.
That's been proven by 2 judges. And this is their poster child. They want you to be concerned about this one immigrant, but guess what? We've had
Chevy.
Hey Chevy, we've had presidents prior to Trump that never had a problem with deportation. They said that Obama, I gotta look the numbers up. They said Obama deported more immigrants than anybody else in history. And I didn't see any marches. I didn't see any due process. I didn't see anything.
Now, I'm not trying to make conspiracy, but didn't they see Kilmar with gang members of MS-13?
Yeah, he's been with gang members, and
Yeah.
he got arrested with MS-13
Yeah.
other gang members. Yeah. So it's amazing that Trump was voted into office because American people said they want him to deport. And now you got the Democrats, got people running around crazy, like thinking that something's been done to them while nothing's being done to them. And you finally got a president that's bringing money into the country instead of spending money. Do you understand that they spent $7 trillion in 4 years? They increased our debt by $7 trillion. Do y'all understand that? Look, oh, Ukraine, you need money? Here go 350 billion. Oh, don't worry about paying us back. Oh, we know. No, Europe said, we're going to loan you the money. Don't worry about nothing else. But Trump coming in office, he said, look, we need a mineral deal because them crazy people that was in office, at least Europe was smart. They did it as a loan. They're getting some of their money back. Whereas the United States, we're not getting anything back. Trump said that's not fair. So Trump like, look, Zelensky, you'd be better off with Americans on the soil because then that'll stop Putin for trying to trample over you because then he's going to have to deal with us. So we both win in this way. We can recoup some of the taxpayer dollars that our money went over there. We didn't sign up for that. That's what Biden did. They could have stopped that war. That war Trump should have never happened. All this stuff is going on. And guess what? We did the military withdrawal from Afghanistan. 13 American soldiers lost their lives and many others were severely wounded. And we left billions of dollars worth of military equipment and supplies. And we ran out of there like we were the weakest power in the world. Why did we hightail out of it when we have the strongest military? And then we allow Iran to rebuild, and Trump saying now they're on the verge of getting a nuclear bomb when they were broke. That's real. That's what was under Biden. Biden allowed a balloon from China to fly over our nation. This way they get all the intelligence. They know where our military bases are. They know about our infrastructure and never shot it down. That's how incompetent these idiots were. They were idiots, and that's a fact. And we don't hold them responsible for what they have done. The people that came over, it's not their fault. We opened up the border. Say you come over, we'll give you luxury apartments, we'll give you Medicare, we'll put our veterans out on the street, we'll put American citizens out on the street, but you get preferential treatment. You get a laptop, you get a luxury hotel, you get a cell phone. You don't even have to apply for your license. We're going to give you a license. You don't even have to have ID to fly. You can just fly. We can put your kids in school. Yeah, our schools are behind because we pay more money per student than anybody else in the world, but our kids are dumb. And now they're going to be even dumber because now we got to try to teach kids that they can't speak English, and our teachers aren't prepared for that. We put you on our Medicare and our Medicaid, and you go to the hospital, you can't even get a room to yourself because it's flooded in the hallways because that's where they are. You go to Social Security office, and it's not Americans in there. They getting Social Security off our money while we working hard, and we were complaining about egg prices. We like our egg prices. And our vets they fought for this country. We don't have enough respect for the vets that they were burning the flags and we did nothing about it. But if you're taking down a flag, which I've had the honor to do before, the vets is like, don't let that flag hit that ground because that's a disrespect to the military. When I saw them burning our flags, I was like, oh, wow, they're burning the flag. You're not even supposed to let the flag touch the ground. How disrespectful is that to come to our country and you don't respect our country, you don't respect our flag, but you're flying every other flag from your country that you originated from, this is United States of America. It's not wherever you came from. We can say all the different flags.
El Salvador.
This is USA. It's USA. But we're not holding people like we should. Y'all not holding the Democrats, and I'm gonna keep shouting this because you're allowing them to gaslight. Listen to a news program and see who they're talking about.
Yeah, that's how it is. What's your username again?
What?
Someone in chat said y'all Democrats in this chat are hateful.
They
That's how it
are,
is.
but that's what they've been taught.
Yeah.
They've been taught by the Democrats they have no talking points. So when they don't give you nothing to stand on, so if you don't have talking points, you don't know what to say. So what they do, they lash out, they start being disrespectful. But see, we believe in using the dictionary. You can't be in here and don't be respectful.
Somebody
Because we want to hear from you. But use the dictionary.
somebody put all 3 different flags. You wanna know the flags?
I don't care.
They put the alphabet club flag, they put the Ukraine flag and Palestine flag.
I'm sorry, but this is this United States of America. You know, this
All the
United States of
agendas.
America. This United States of America. And as long as we keep on not holding these are elected officials, hold them, don't let it be one-sided. We know they're going to go after Trump. That's their talking points. No matter what he does. Right now, he has contracts bringing trillions of dollars into this country. I haven't seen a president do that. 500 billion right from the door, Apple. 500 billion. Then another 500 billion for Nivea, whatever the name is. Then he got like 22 billion from Hyundai, they're gonna build here Taiwan. Then you got all the car companies coming back here. You build in America, then you don't have to pay the high tariffs. And the reason why he's doing the tariffs, and we got to pray that it works, is because all the countries have been taking advantage of Americans. How you like that? I didn't know that. Did y'all know that? That we got 170 countries charge us tariffs, and they overcharge us. They're unfair to us. And Trump is like, this isn't fair. Y'all need to treat us fairly. And especially China. We got $1 trillion going over to China. Everything made in China when it could be made in the USA. Made in the USA. Yeah, it could be made here. And then the companies, if they come here, then they can charge lower because then you're not going to be charged the tariffs. We got to do something because guess what? What Trump is doing is for our future, our children's future. Do y'all love y'all kids at all? So, because what president has been dealing with the deficit? What president has taken on this $36 trillion debt that we're in? Somebody has to do it. And I'd rather have a businessman, a man that ushers respect from the other countries. They don't play when they come with Trump. They show him respect that they didn't show Biden. They didn't show Biden respect. Thank you so much. Maximum. Okay, let's see. Money to go towards some education for years, teaching, care, affects you, have problems. You know what? God is good. And it's a blessing to have anybody because you can agree to disagree. And that's what this channel is about. We're not like the media. And if you don't like or believe what we're saying, because we're going to speak the truth, whether you like it or not, because the truth hurts. And that's a fact. People don't want to hear the truth. The truth is we had open borders. Is that yes or no? That the Democratic Party opened up our borders and they allow criminals to come in. They empty out, they empty out prisons. They empty out, for lack of a better word, crazy houses. They allowed everyone to come into our country. Is that true or false?
Sorry, Amy, but we don't feel like that. But Amy said she left because the people are crazy lefty and against America. We're not trying to have people leave because we're for America, but the people in the chat, I can understand why that would cause someone to leave.
I don't know what that means. What I don't know what y'all saying. What?
No, it's
leave where?
A Republican was watching, but she left because the people in the chat were being really rude.
And you know what? You can't be on here unless you can stand 10 toes down. Like when you know who you are in Christ and you have confidence in who you are, it's nothing someone could say that's going to deter who you are. When you are in Christ, you have to speak the truth, you know, and the truth will set you free. Now, some people don't want to hear the truth because they want to hear lies. They, even when they're looking at what's going on,
Thanks, Shug.
and they can see it for themselves, and they still will not admit it. They still, do y'all care for, love your children? What president is going to be able to handle this debt?
Oh, thanks, Sniper Babe. She said you're a very beautiful woman.
Thank you so much. What president? Well, you think that Kamala could have handled this $36 trillion debt? You know, they just was spending money like we had money to spend. $7 trillion.
Romeo, that's not us. You must be hearing that from someone else. That's not us.
You know, we have to think about our children's children and this country moving forward. And it was collapsing. If Kamala had won, we would be in a World War III. That's a fact. The borders would still be open, and this United States would have became a third world country because that's where we were heading to, and that's a fact. We have no money. Bank of America is closed. There is no money. We have no money. We can't even take care of ourselves, and we can't. And the immigrants. The illegal immigrants are a burden to the country because too many came in all at once. We can't handle this because we're broke. We're broke.
Yeah.
And what we're doing, we're set aside. Americans are being left out.
Yeah, you're right. SE 2027. Kilmar was a great dude. He was a model citizen of of United States of America.
I want to tell us about Americans. Tell us about Americans. Americans. America first. Any other country you go to, they're not putting America first. The people that's here, they still flying their flags from their countries. We expect our government to do what they're supposed to do in our best interests. We're not supposed to be last on the list. I don't want to keep hearing about Kilmar Garcia, this one person, and he's not a role model. We spent $5 million on one person that he broke the law over and over again. Y'all know it. Y'all could Google. They tell me he was human trafficking. He was doing all kinds of things. And all this is going on. But the citizens here, even the senators that had flown over there to El Salvador, their very citizens were killed and they did nothing for them.
Oh, look, Mom.
They did not a thing.
Thank you, B. B said, let me heart it. B said, Canada got robbed by liberal underhanded schemes. America doesn't know we have 5 liberals versus 1 conservative party. We are not your enemy and we never were. Right. That is exactly it.
The thing about it, what's going on, that Americans are being gaslighted by an entire party. And we have a president that's looking out for our best interests. And that's a fact. And the Democrats offer us nothing. They're fighting for illegal immigration because it benefits them, because they want the votes. This is all about, it's not that they care about the people. It's not that they care about people that need asylum. It's all about votes.
So, Jody, you don't think that America would actually help Canada if they become the 51st state?
We're already doing it.
We're already doing that. If they become the 51st state, they're going to be covered in gold, basically, to compare to how they are now.
Well, the thing about it, they become, say, a 51st state, and I am by far not going to act like I'm an expert on it, but to my understanding is that we're footing a lot of the bills for Canada, and that's why Trump made the statement that he might as well become the 51st state, because without the United States support, then Canada wouldn't do too well without us. And they're overcharging us with tariffs, like everybody else. Like a lot of these countries, they don't take our products we're taking in everything from the world, but it comes to a point that you have to start taking care of your own. That's even your own household. You're going to take care. You're not going to tell me you're going to allow 100 people to come into your house and let your children go without eating and not have a room to sleep in. You're going to take care of home first. This is home. United States of America, that's home. And we don't have a problem with immigrants because the majority of people in this country are immigrants. And so that's not the problem. The problem is how the Democrats went about it and how they flooded, like, why did they need to bring in so many people, millions and millions? And then when that was being called out, then they start flying them in. Why? You have to ask yourself, why was it so important? That's because it was all about the Benjamins. It was all about votes. And guess what? Even though they lost the election, the mission is still on. The mission is, that's why they don't want Kilmar to represent the Democratic Party. He's a legal immigrant. He's not even American. But what they want is not for him to be deported because they want everyone to be legalized. That's still on mission. And they got American citizens running around being gaslighted, going against their own best interests. The people that were being hired when they look at the job market were illegals in comparison to Americans. Americans weren't being hired. So they don't care about American citizens. Their campaign, you got to listen to what's going on. They're not fighting for, Democratic Party is not fighting for Americans. They don't talk about Americans. They don't talk about our concerns, health care, high interest rate, housing, education. They don't have any solutions. Trump said, look, I want to dismantle the educational department and give it to the states because we're paying all this money and we're losing. That we'll be more successful if states can handle the education department because our kids aren't learning, but we're putting out all this money. Things have to, if you keep doing the same thing over and over again, it's not working. That means you need to do something else. And they don't want to do anything else. They want us to keep doing the same things that aren't working. That's not working. And people want to be so religious. When you had Clinton, Democratic president, he deported 12.5 million. No this, no that, no due process. They shouldn't be here. They broke the law. We have laws. What we supposed to follow certain laws? You follow this law, but don't follow that law. We're going to pick and choose the laws. Is that the case? Is that the case? You are allowed to come here, but you're supposed to be vetted in. No country, what other country it can allow this to have allowed this to happen? You get these crazy people that know that it's unsustainable. If you got money, then you take care of 12 million, 14 million people. Because they got to eat, sleep. How many cows and chickens do we have? I mean, you got to take care of these people. What about housing? All this kind of stuff. We already got homeless people that are Americans. What about them? What about the homeless Americans? What about their families? What about the families that have suffered at the hands of illegal immigrants? What about them? Y'all don't talk about, what about the 350,000 children that are missing? What about them? What about fentanyl that's coming into this country? What about that? It's like nobody's talking about the things that are affecting this country as citizens.
Sherry said, you need to be a politician. You can really make a positive change.
Yeah, that probably is my calling. Who knows what could happen? But it is, and this is not against anyone. This is not against, this is what our government did that was in office. And now we're suffering the repercussions, and Biden's on somebody's beach, and Kamala is still talking her word salads.
And Amy wants to be a mod.
Cindy, please, or Elijah, if you're watching, let me ask I could take a non-American. Okay, she could be a mod, but what we do, we don't mind the trolls because we want to answer them, and they wouldn't be on here if they didn't want to hear the truth. But if they start calling names and they can't speak in a clear, concise manner and use the dictionary, because we want to hear their point of views. We're not trying to be one-sided, and we are going to be bringing people on. Not everyone that agrees with us, but we do demand respect. You're going to show respect, just like you would anyone else that you were in front of. You know, you don't, people feel emboldened when they're online, that they feel that they can talk and say anything to people, and it's not right. And we want to hear from you, but you're not going to say any old thing, because that's unacceptable. This is called conversation. That's why, thank God, we're in the United States of America, because it's called freedom of speech. You have a right to say what you want to say, and we have a right to say what we want to say. That's the difference for being here in a country as great as this is. And people that's not from here aren't used to maybe having that privilege. But here in the United States, we can speak our minds. And it's great to agree to disagree, because maybe we can enlighten each other. But to spam and just to say things because you have no talking points, because the Democrats don't give you talking points. They don't give you talking points. They have nothing to say because they're not doing anything for us. I can stand 10 toes down with Trump because I see that he's doing stuff. Everything he's doing, he doesn't take a salary. He's not getting paid for this. He has the freaking his cabinet. That's the Justice League. They are phenomenal. Any of them could run for president of the United States in 2028. From JD to Tulsi to RFK to you go around the table to Mark Rubio, all of them. They are freaking legit in comparison to that previous administration. And when did you see that previous administration? When were they able to even, they never showed you a cabinet meeting. Most people don't know what a cabinet meeting looks like, or any type of meeting like that. Executive board. I'm used to sitting around the executive board with leaders. That's what it looks like, but that's on a much higher level. And that's something that people need to watch and tune into. Watch the next executive board, because Trump has made his office transparent, that we get to everything that they're doing, everything that's going on. They let us know everything. They don't use scripts. They don't use teleprompters. They are speaking to us. When that administration or those Democrats have to talk, they have to have a teleprompter, a script, and they select reporters to ask them certain questions. That's it. They take questions from anyone, from opposition. Trump, like he was on what, with that lady Meet the Press. All they look for, an aha moment. They act like they stuck on stupid.
Not viewing the decision the way you said it. They don't view it that way at all. They think it's a totally different decision.
Well, you say you have the power to bring them back, though.
Don't forget to hit the like, share, and subscribe. This is all they talk about. Kill Mark.
Put a fine point on this.
That's it.
Do you have the power to bring Abrego Garcia back as the Supreme Court?
Well, I have the power to ask for him to come back if I'm instructed by the Attorney General that it's legal to do so.
This is all they talk
But
about.
The decision as to whether or not he should come back will be the head of El Salvador. Is a very capable man.
Well, you know, and your Attorney General has said the issues with that word facilitate. Will you seek clarification from the Supreme Court? Do you need to go back to the Supreme Court?
We may do that. I was asking about that. We may do that. There are some people that say, bring him back, put him in trial, and you get him out right away, because you see what happened. Just this morning, tapes came out, horrible tapes from his wife. You don't get much worse than that. You don't get, I mean, he seems certainly like a very dangerous, very bad person, but even the wife, who was so afraid, she was afraid to talk, and all of a sudden tapes got released this morning that were devastating to him.
And this is the point, sir, about due process. The Constitution says every person, citizens and non-citizens, deserve due process. Why not push to have him come back, present all of that evidence in court, let a judge decide?
Well, I'll leave that to the lawyers, and I'll leave that to the Attorney General of the United States,
But
because they're in it. You have to understand, I'm dealing with Russia and Ukraine. I'm dealing
We're
with
going to talk about that.
I'm dealing with Iran. I'm dealing with Rwanda and Congo, who are fighting, and we're trying to get that one straightened out, and I think we have done that. did a great job. Nobody even talks about it, but I think we're close to doing that. They're looking like they're going to maybe make a peace deal, which would be good. But I'm dealing with a lot of different things. I don't know much about this gentleman other than I hear he's an absolute not good person. And I have very capable legal people, John Sauer, as you know, and all top people. And I have to rely on that to interpret whatever's said by the Supreme Court. Now, with that being said, I have tremendous respect for the Supreme Court. Look, 3 of the people are people I appointed.
Right.
And I have great respect for the Supreme Court. And I would expect that the Attorney General will be doing the right thing.
Your Secretary of State says everyone who's here, citizens and non-citizens, deserve due process. Do you agree, Mr.
I
President?
don't know. I'm not a lawyer. I don't know.
Well, the Fifth Amendment says.
I don't know. It seems it might say that, but if you're talking about that, then we'd have to have 1 million or 2 million or 3 million trials. We have thousands of people that are some murderers and some drug dealers and some of the worst people on earth.
But
Some of the worst, most dangerous
Look at this
people on earth.
bastard fight.
And I was elected to get them the hell out of here.
Get them out.
And the courts are holding me from doing it.
But even given those numbers that you're talking about, don't you need to uphold the Constitution of the United States?
Did you
I
have
don't
Clinton
know.
uphold the
I have to
Constitution?
respond
Did you
by
have
saying again,
Obama uphold the
I have
Constitution?
brilliant
Bush,
lawyers that work for
Biden,
me.
anybody?
And they are going to obviously follow what the Supreme Court said. What you said is not what I heard the Supreme Court said. They have a different interpretation.
We voted to get them out.
Can you guess what's inside?
Get
this
them
box?
out. Get them out. The American people have spoken, and these Democrats, this is all they do is try to continue. They've got this one person, and he's talking about, I'm dealing with Congo, Gaza, Ukraine, open borders, inflation, and this is everything they left him. And this is what they're talking about. Like, we don't have other problems. Talk about Americans. That's all I ask. Talk about Americans. You're going to take a meeting with the President of the United States, and you're talking about an illegal immigrant, about him being sent home. He was sent home. He was sent home to his country. He was sent home. He had 17 judges, some of them twice, and he was deported. We can't do that with everyone. But when is it going to be America first? When is it going to be America first? When is it going to be America first? Well, you know what? I know that you're not from the United States of America, just from your comment, because there's nobody, there's not an American citizen, even the country where you're from. Did you expect somebody else to go to your country and they be put over you and they're using your money to do it? While you can't buy eggs, while you can't get housing, while you can't get health care. I mean, so the things you're saying, we're going to look out for our benefit, what benefits us. There's nothing wrong with that. We do take care of the world, but we also have to take care of us as well. We are Americans. We are Americans.
Yeah, thanks, Chevy. Someone was spamming.
And they don't like that. But they have to understand, the United States of America, we can have an opinion. And if you don't agree, it's thousands of people that have content creators. Listen to someone you want to listen to say what you want to hear.
Maximum, you're completely wrong about that, because my mom was a Democrat. You could check the channel of her actually greeting and talking with Joe Biden. My mom was a big time supporter of the Democratic Party. So your comment is completely invalid.
See, the thing about it is that they know most black people vote the same way.
Yeah.
It's historically known that black people, all we do from generation to generation, vote Democrats. Not because they do anything for us, it's just that's what we do. We don't look at policy. We don't look at them keeping their promises, which they never have and never do. We just vote the same way. They don't even respect our votes. They don't. I was on that plantation 4 years ago. I was leading the way. I was throwing rallies. I have receipts after receipts. I'm with Biden. I'm with Obama, Bernie Sanders, um, all the different political people, from Amy Schumer. I've been on Zoom calls with the majority leader Schumer. All of them. I've been on calls with them. I have cell phone numbers. Was in there. Now I went MIA because now I see how biased it's been.
Lex Thompson, please just check the channel and you see a video of her greeting Joe Biden. Just check the channel.
You don't have to prove anything to people because you're allowed to have your own opinion.
They were saying you're lying. That's why.
Oh well, no, you could check.
That's what I'm saying. That
you could I'm like if I was on here, just bring it up and show them with me with Biden greeting him or selfies, different times, different occasions.
And Chris said no black person should be a Republican.
Why not? Yeah, that's that plantation thinking. You know why? You know what was the best thing for black people? Let me be honest. The best thing for black people was Biden. Biden, we could thank Biden. I'm sorry, you lost God's way. All of you have hate and read this. I can't say. I don't want to be right up on it. Give them respect. We can read it. They even know what they're saying.
Oh, it's Maximum again.
Yeah. Thank you. We appreciate you.
Thank you, bro, or miss, or whatever you are. It said, I'm just sorry. They got a like. It said, I'm just sorry you lost God's way and all of it. All you have now is hate in your heart for people you don't know. Shameful. Another 5 for you. Be better.
You know what? Right now, I think that I'm going to touch everything. Right now, I think what we need to do, we need to thank Joe Biden as a black person. I want to thank him for the 1994 crime bill. You know, as a black American, all of us should make sure we vote for Democrats because that mass incarceration, we appreciate that he was the offer, and he said that we were worse than an infidel. He said that we were super predators. He said that we're beyond lapel, that we should never be let out of prison. And he took all our fathers, sons, brothers, nephews, and he locked us all up. So when you take the black male out the household, then the mother is working 2 jobs to take, because now she doesn't have her support. So now the kids are on the street and they want those Jordans and LeBrons, and then they're getting locked up and they're getting caught up with the wrong people because there's no leadership. So slavery didn't end. It was like, okay, this is another form of slavery, and I got a video for
Maximum, you just don't want to admit it.
So that's Biden. We got to thank Biden for that 1994 crime bill, and then he said you're ain't black unless you vote for him. So we want to thank Biden and the Democratic Party for everything. And then Clinton even made it worse. Even after Biden did the 1994 crime bill that cost millions of black men and women too, I guess, to be locked up, he made it even worse.
Now Maximum saying
and we need to thank Kamala. Oh, the first Indian senator, but when she ran for president, her 3 months run, that was no primary. They were talking about a threat to democracy, but there was no primary for the person to run for president. That she was so wonderful that she locked up thousands of black men and over-sentenced them. So we need to thank Kamala and by all that they have done for us. And you know what they promised? You know why I fought so hard? Because they said they was going to give us an anti-hate crime bill for black people. Like the John Lewis bill or the George Floyd bill. Guess who got the bill? The Asians, who didn't do anything to vote for them.
Well, thank you, Danita.
So
she said, you and your son are very godly. Thank you for your wisdom and love for America.
So you're saying as black people,
Thank you.
Black people, we love not having we love our men being put in prison. And you know what else we love? We love that our black boys and women are still being shot dead for the slightest infraction. They shoot us dead, but they can get kicked in the head by everybody else. And they catch and release them.
Shark, you could look it up for yourself. Even videos on YouTube. Like there's a video of a guy who didn't even commit the crime but got locked up for murder by Kamala.
Yeah, Kamala, yeah, she wanted a notch on her belt. You know, she was in California. What was she, the DOJ or whatever? She wanted a notch on her belt. She didn't even want to do a DNA test, wanted to put the man to death. The man, Gavin Newsom, that's one good thing he did. He did a DNA test and found out, guess what? The man was innocent. Thank you, Joe Biden and Kamala and Clinton, Obama. We like, wow, we got a black president. Now, black people, we have made it. Guess who he fought for? He's the father of LGBTQ. The freaking Democratic Party is not the same party. It became the party of the LGBTQ. And then Biden, not only did he open up the borders, oh, thank you. Let all these people in. Let all these people into our country. I mean, when you got millions coming in, nobody vetted. Millions. He opened up the borders. Then he took Resurrection Sunday last year and he made it Day of Visibility. How about that, God? How about that, God? And guess what? God is not into, guess what? God said to be fruitful and multiply. Isn't that in Genesis 1:26?
Richard, you're too much of a follower to actually see the light.
God said we're supposed to recreate. You can't recreate with a man and a man or a woman and a woman. So God is not in that party, is not the same party. It became the party LGBTQ, transgender, same-sex marriages. And guess what? No matter what they do, a man is still going to be a man. It's only two genders.
Hey, Maxima, let me ask you this. What party you think supports God, the Republican Party or the Democrat Party? Because he said God wouldn't improve of our hate.
This not, you know, when you say facts, see, that's how people twist stuff up. Because God is a God of truth. And God, you think God wouldn't say this? He's a God of truth and he's holy. God is not into sin. That's sin. God is not in abortion. God is not into same-sex marriages. He said, he calls it abomination in the Bible. Okay, God is not in men and women sports, men and women bathrooms. Okay, that the Democratic Party has changed. It's not the same party of yesteryear. And that's the main reason why I will never vote for Democrats again, because it goes against what the Bible says. Okay? I'm not voting for something that's going against biblical principles. So people that run around and talk about this and that, it's not hate. It's hate when you don't tell people the truth. That's hate. When you allow people to stay in their sins, because God offers salvation to everyone, and he allowed us to repent. And when you don't tell people the truth and tell them that's wrong, then they will die in their sins.
Yeah, you have to realize that you was voting for them.
Showing love is saying what we're saying. That's showing love. People need to hear the truth. To love them enough to tell them the truth. Who wants a friend or somebody that's lying to you all the time? That's not a friend.
Yes, we're for Israel.
That's not a friend. So that's what I feel about the Democrat Party. Okay? And that's what I feel about standing with God. I had to look at that. They didn't run on policy. They were in office. Tell me why didn't they run on their accomplishments? They ran on abortion. They had a freaking Planned Parenthood eliminating babies at a convention. Come on now.
Raymond, then what would you call Joe Biden's time in office if Trump's 100 days have been a nightmare?
No, everything he does, it doesn't matter because they're brainwashed from the media has set him up, and the Democrat leaders are doing nothing for Americans. Not one thing. Only thing they do is gaslight you to focus on Trump. That's it. That's it. Everything he does for this country, everything he does is not bad. The majority of the things he's doing for this country is great. And he's finding ways. How come all those Democratic leaders are multimillionaires when their salaries is under $200,000? Who are they getting their money from? Lobbyists? Who's paying them off? Nobody hold them responsible. Because I am. I'm going to hold them responsible as a black woman that's always voted for Democrats. See, I can hold them responsible, but it's people on here that the truth is slap them in the face and they don't want to hear because they're supposed to hate someone. That's how they did Jesus. They hated Jesus and Jesus was telling them the truth. Telling them the truth. They did it. Jesus said, what make you think everybody's going to like you when they treat me like this? People are not going to like you when you tell them the truth. Look how they treated Jesus.
Jason asked, he said he just came to the stream and he's not sure if you mentioned yet, but he's asking why are they giving them 1,000 to self-deport?
Okay, so this is what's going on. American taxpayers are overburdened. We have millions of people because of the previous administration, the Democrats, that allow these open borders and act like they couldn't close it. Now they're closed 99.9%. Trump shut it down and they refuse to do it. But because there's so many people that we're broke, this country is bankrupt. We can't afford to pay $17,000 per person to deport when you got millions of people. So the app, he has a DHS app that Trump has that you can self-deport back to your country, because if ICE catch you, then they're just going to deport you. You're not going to ever be able to come back into this country. But with the app, they're going to pay for your plane ticket, your flight. It's going to be like altogether it's going to cost around $4,500 in comparison to $17,000 to deport. But then they're going to put you on a list that long as you're not a criminal, they're going to put you on a list and they're going to make a way for you to be able to come back in legally, which will be less of a burden on this country and give us time to build this country back up. We have to build a country. So that's what's going on. So he has an app. And he said, look, you self-deport, we'll put you at the top of the list, because you got to look at it. There are millions of people that want to become citizens that have been vetted, that are waiting. But because we had this influx, they're not being taken care of, which is unfair to them.
Joe Biden has done so much.
Joe Biden destroyed.
We got to pay them to leave.
We got to pay them to leave. We got to pay for them to stay. And we just caught it with that administration. This is what they have done. And these people are caught in the middle of this chaos because the Democrats haven't finished. As long as they could keep gaslighting the American people and telling the American people that everything is Trump's fault, even though the first week he got in office has been Trump's fault. They blame him. They were blaming him running for the last election. You would have thought he was president and not Biden and Kamala. Yeah. They act like he was the one that did this. He's the one. Guess what? Let me give you breaking news. Trump is trying to fix this country. Whether you like him or not, whether you believe it or not, actions speak louder than words. Look at what he's actually doing. And that's not saying we agree with everything, but he's doing more good than bad. And at least he's doing something. They're offering nothing. And until the people of this country wake up and hold the Democratic Party accountable, they have been destroying this country. And that's a fact. Let's see what Byron has to say.
He is running for governor in the great state of Florida, the Sunshine State. Congressman, thank you so much for being here.
It's good to be back with you.
It's good to have you back. I know it's a busy time for you, so
Trump.
We're going to talk about the president's comments there as well as the economy. But let's talk about that moment when he said, "I don't know," when I asked him if he has to uphold
he didn't
the
say that
Constitution of as the president of the United States. What was your reaction to hearing that? Do you think he has to uphold every part of the Constitution, including the Fifth Amendment?
Well, first of all, let's be clear. I think what the president was talking about is, yes, he's going to uphold the Constitution. He's taking advice from his legal team, led obviously by the White House counsel, the Attorney General of the United States, everybody working at the Department of Homeland Security, about all the parameters that they are using to deport illegal aliens out of this country which is the core of President Trump's victory last November. Let's remember, the American people have been clear that they want criminal illegal aliens, number one, and then illegal aliens overall returned to their home countries. Donald Trump is fulfilling that promise. Now, I think to the broader question in this entire situation, is it okay for the previous administration to abuse the border security laws, abuse asylum, abuse temporary protected status, open up the country to millions of people, and then hide behind due process where it would take us 15 years to actually process people back out of the United States?
And you're talking about the numbers. You're saying there are so many people here that it would just take too long. But let me ask you, I mean, the Constitution says that everyone who's here is entitled to due process. So I understand there are big numbers that you are talking about and that the president is dealing with. But if you're going to follow the Constitution, don't you have to follow what it says by letter and law?
Well, I think first, the other thing is you have to look at this. When you come in, let's say on an asylum package, that is at the discretion of the administration. The administration is now saying, you know what? We are going to have a legal detainer for you to be deported, and you are going to be removed from the United States. That's under the premise of how you came in. Second thing, every illegal alien that came here, the first thing they did is they broke the law coming into our country. They broke the law. Let's level set here. That's what they did. So there is an orderly process that the president and his team is going through. They're not just rounding up people and dropping them out of the country. That is not true. Everybody that's been deported to this point has had a legal deportation order executed by the president's administration.
But in this case, in the case of Kilmar Abrego Garcia, the administration said it was an administrative error. And in 2019, an immigration judge issued an order that's still in effect that he should not be deported back to El Salvador. And I guess this goes back to the question that I was asking to President Trump. Do you think that everyone, citizens and non-citizens, are entitled to due process?
Well, first and foremost, let me be clear with you. When it comes to due process, that is a privilege reserved for American citizens. When people are in our country illegally, there is a semblance of due process, but not nearly at the level of a United States citizen, of an American. There are two different standards. You come to America, you are a guest in the United States. That privilege can be revoked. And a lot of these illegal aliens were not guests. They showed up at the southern border. Joe Biden abused our laws, ignored our laws, and let them in. And yet, so what are the American people supposed to say about that?
Well, the Constitution, I mean, let me just read you. This is the Fifth Amendment. No person shall be held to answer for a capital or otherwise infamous crime unless a presentment or indictment of a grand jury, except in cases arising in the land or naval forces. And then it goes on to say, nor shall any person be subjected for the same offense to be twice put in jeopardy of life, limb, nor shall be compelled in any criminal case to be a witness against himself, nor be deprived of life, liberty, or property without due process of law. So the Constitution says any person, not citizen, and therein lies the debate and the root of my question. I mean, does any person just apply to citizens in your mind, or does it apply to citizens and non-citizens? The Secretary of State, Marco Rubio, says it applies to citizens and non-citizens.
Well, let's be very clear. First and foremost, when the framers wrote our Constitution, they never envisioned that there would be an executive that would allow millions of people to come into the country illegally. They never fathomed that. Number two, more importantly, you have a situation right now. Is it okay for any administration to not follow the law, abuse border security laws, let millions of people in, and then hide behind the court system to say, well, now they're here, so now we have to go through a lengthy process? Let's examine this right now. Right now, what we know is that when people came into the country illegally, almost 90% of them would not even go to the hearings. So if you're supposed to show up for a hearing and you do not go, what are we supposed to do as a country?
Very quickly, let me just interject, and we're running out of time, and I still have to get to the economy.
Sure.
To your point about the hearings, does Congress need to work harder to get more funding, to get more resources to the courts,
where?
so that you can better process people
From
who are here, who are undocumented?
And in the one big beautiful bill, there will be dollars provided to the administration to speed up the deportation efforts. I will add that one of the things we have to be very sober about is that the gravity upon which all these people have been brought to our country, it is not physically possible to hire that many judges and process them out of the country. This is why you cannot have open borders to begin with.
Okay, let's move on to the economy. I have to get your reaction to the president effectively saying that kids can have or should have $2 and not $30. They should have fewer pencils. Do you think that's the right argument for the president to be making about his tariff policy?
Look, I think the argument the president is making is that overall, if you look at where we are, prices have come down. Even the GDP read that just came out that showed a contraction, you know why that is? It's because of the federal government contracting. That's a good thing. Private investment in the economy year over year is up over 20%. Personal consumption in the economy year over year is up over 2%. So individuals are consuming. There's private domestic investment in our economy. The federal government is shrinking.
Yeah.
But when it comes to goods, prices are coming down. If people make purchasing decisions on what they're going to do with their own resources, those are their personal choices.
As I just noted with the president in the interview, of course, some prices are going up. The economy shrank. As you know, the stock market has been volatile and fears about inflation are increasing. Let me just play you something very quickly that Republican strategist Karl Rove had to say. Get your reaction on the other side. Take a look.
So I thought it's really problematic when he said,
You know what? Like, I think that Byron, like, just to be, so I don't want to get off subject because, like, it's so much going on. But I think that it's a disservice that's been done to the American people when you have a whole party that won't be honest with the American people. Like, what is their agenda? What is the agenda of the Democratic Party? What is their agenda? Do they have an agenda? Is there a leader? What are their solutions? What are they doing about inflation, high interest rate? How come they didn't do anything about the open borders? What are they doing for American people? They talk about the newscast of that lady even when she interviewed Trump. It's like they have no other questions. She's not even asking anything about the welfare of the American people. It's like that's their number one question all the time. All the time. Because they need to win that so that they can move forward with their plan. Because if they move forward with their plan, then they have a whole new voting block. They don't care if this country is destroyed. It's not about that. They don't care. They care about the Benjamins. They care about power. So that's what it's about. It's not about the welfare of any of us. And that's what we need to see as American people. Because just like any neighborhood that you're living in, there are people that voted for different parties, but their representative has an obligation to represent all of us. And the American people, almost, 78 million voted for Trump to be in office because they destroyed this country. The open borders is just one issue. There's so many issues that we needed someone that could, within 100 days, Trump has been more transparent than I think that any president has ever been. And we should expect our future leaders to do the same. Have the open meetings, talk to reporters. These reporters are so thirsty, but how many questions have they ever asked the Democratic Party? When have you seen the Democratic Party hold a press conference and they just take questions and questions every time? Every time you see them, when are they taking questions? Random questions. When is anybody asking them questions? When are they going on to news programs that are in opposition, which all of them really work, all of the mainstream media works together. There's only one that'll challenge them. They won't go on there on Fox News. They won't go on there. Trump would meet the press, NBC, MSNBC, all his whole cabinet. They'll talk to anyone. The administration talks to everybody. And that's refreshing. If nothing else, it's refreshing. And we should appreciate that. But the Democrats they won't mind them not saying anything. Now all of a sudden the reporters, Trump even allowed them in the Oval Office. When he had leaders from other countries, he allowed them at Mar-a-Lago. He's allowed them everywhere, in the Oval Office and cabinet meetings. Things that have been shut off to American people forever. Forever. I respect that. That hasn't been happening. That has never happened. So he's setting a tone if you guys aren't catching on. These are things we should expect and demand from our leaders. And we should demand it from that other party that fights so hard against him, but what are their solutions? When you're a leader, I'm a leader, I'm supposed to be a problem solver. I expect them to solve problems, not to create problems and not to pass the buck. That's what they do. They create problems and then they blame someone else. I'm tired of that. I'm tired of all the lies that they tell. Trump been more investigated, with a fine-tooth comb. So all his stuff is out there. What about them? Why did Biden have to pardon his entire family? Nobody says anything about that. Why did he have to pardon Hunter for 10 years? What kind of criminal activities have they been doing? That's the only time you have to pardon people. Nobody's saying anything about all the corruption. You got Doge. I don't agree with Elon, how he went into the federal government. You just don't wipe out departments. You got department heads. He should have gone to them, and then they could tell him where we can reduce or departments. That's what he should have done. But he found waste in Social Security. People collecting Social Security that aren't even alive, haven't been born yet. Immigrants getting Social Security. He's finding all this waste, $22 million Sesame Street, all this money just given out, just all this wasteful spending. They even have a department to look into transgender mice. What? Huh? Well, you need to take that. What time is it? It's like 11. So it's a lot of things that need to be looked into, and I don't know what it's going to take for us to really hold people accountable. You got these people like Jasmine Crockett. What is she doing? She's the number one. They tell me she's going to be, that's who you want to be the president? You want AOC to be the president? Bernie Sanders, I already showed you, all he's been saying for the last 30 years is oligarchy.
No.
The same thing.
No, Mom. They want Van Hollen to be president.
Yeah, they all Trump. Van Hollen, he over there in El Salvador, and he got his own citizens that he's not taking care of that have lost their lives. It's just unbelievable that the stuff that's going on. The stuff that's going on. Here go Tom. Well, I'll put him on. We gotta. You're gonna hold them accountable. They got to be held accountable.
What sort of impact do you see it having the self-deportation offering $1,000 now for the self-deport?
Well, I think you'll have some movement, right? Because I think people are finally getting a message. If you leave on your own, you can take advantage of legal programs, come back. But we have to go through the process of formally deporting you. There are mandatory bars against you for up to 20 years, sometimes forever. So, if you want to take advantage, come back as a worker, a tourist visa, a visitor's visa, a student visa, or have a U.S. citizen child if you have one, petition for you in the future. Leave yourself open to the opportunity of legal entry. Do things the right way. There's millions of people standing in line right now doing things the right way.
Doing things the right way.
Doing the background investigations, paying their fees. They're sitting in the back seat. While millions of people are allowed in this country under the Biden administration that simply don't qualify for asylum. Most of them will lose that asylum claim. So while they're clogging up the whole system, in addition to those who want to come in legally, while the millions of fraudulent asylum claims under the Biden administration, there are people in this world who really are escaping fear and persecution from the homeland. But they're sitting in the back seat too because millions of people cheated the system coming across the border and released from the United States that caused a significant backlog in immigration court. And that wasn't by accident, it's by design. Let's just overwhelm the system. So it takes 5, 7, 9 years to go through the whole process, if they take, advantage of the appeals process, they know exactly what they're doing. That's why they weren't in ICE detention. In ICE detention, they get a hearing in 35 days. But for release, millions of the country overwhelm the system, so they don't get a hearing in 5, 7, 9 years. And maybe there's a Democrat administration in power. Now we can have an amnesty. They know exactly what they're doing. They're playing the long game. But we're going to beat them at. We're going to ramp up interior enforcement operations and removals. We're going to enforce the law. We're not going to ignore the law like the prior administration did.
Assalamu alaikum.
Yeah, it's just amazing. But you can tell, like, people, like, who are Americans. One thing that I respect about what happened at this last election is that Americans stood together. The people that put Trump in office were blacks, whites, Italians, Jews, Asians, Hispanic, Latinos, indigenous. We voted for him because we want him to do his job. And that's what he's been doing. And America spoke loud and clear. And it's not just one issue. There are many issues. We brought this up because this is something new that he's proposing, for people to self-deport, because there are millions of people that are standing as waiting to become citizens. But all this chaos is going on, and it's unsustainable. We don't have the money to support all these people. They're not bringing money to us. They're causing us a burden that we can't afford, not at this rate.
Black people are waking up, just like us.
Yeah.
All of us will be woken up one day.
But we got to get it out because, we're the only group voting bloc that votes the same way no matter what. We should be voting for policy. Like I said, Biden didn't do anything for us. He incarcerated black people, and we voted for him. We should have never have voted for him. Kamala did the same thing. We should have never have voted for us. But they paraded her as a black woman when she's Indian. She's Indian. And Indians look black. They got melanin just like we do, but she's Indian. Her father and them, they was from Jamaica, but they were Indians living in Jamaica. But she's Indian. But you could tell she wasn't black. Black people don't put collard greens in a bathtub. And she tried to mimic what she thought how black people talk or even go to church services. It's like it was all game. And black people, we know game. But we're so conditioned of doing the same thing. And we're listening to the fake leaders like Al Sharpton. He got $500,000 to convince us to vote for Kamala. Beyonce got 10 million holding hands to vote for Kamala. All these people were paid.
You can't forget. Remember when they made like Charlemagne the spokesman?
Yeah, like Charlemagne supposed to be the spokesperson for black people. He's not our spokesperson, Then they had D.L. Hughley and all these different people, and they had Clooney. They had all the rich people are Democrats. The rich people are the Democrats. All the billionaires were supporting the Democrats because only they could raise $1.5 billion in 3 months. In 3 months. 3 months.
Ingrid said, "Thank you guys. God bless you. Be nice on here. You can have different opinions, but still be kind."
Yeah, didn't we make her a monitor?
No.
Oh.
Make her a mom?
Yeah, she could be a mom.
Okay.
Yeah, but people, they have a choice. Like anybody in disagreement, you don't have to be on, you don't have to listen. But it must be something you want to hear. Because there are people that you can listen, thousands of people who have their own channels. You could you could go on MSNBC. You could go on CNN, Morning Joe, Rachel Maddow. You could go to all.
Watching Roland.
You can go to Roland Martin. You can go all these different people that they're say what you want to hear. But if you're going to come on here, we're not going to bend the truth for you. We're not going to bend that. We're going to give you our opinion. And you can give us yours, but you got to do it respectfully. You got to use the freaking dictionary. And you speak in a clear, concise manner. And I know you have a problem with it because they have no talking points. Because they're not doing anything for us.
Oh, Shark said no.
No to what?
They said that no. We We're not. Wait, I don't understand. It said not being kind is when we are disagreeing about policy, not with my right to exist as a gay man, you bigot.
Look, you could be a frog. You could be whatever you want to be. There's some people talking about they're a dog. I don't know. But this is not about, at the end of the day, there's two genders. Either you're a man or woman. No matter if you put a dress on or do whatever you want to do, that your DNA is always going to say you are a man. Or your DNA is always going to say that you are a woman. And it's funny how people they don't want to accept for what you are, who you are, but you want us to accept you for what you are not. You know, you can be what you want to be. That's not an issue. You be whatever you want to be because you're going to answer to God. And God is giving you a choice. We're not judging you. We're not going to tell you we're not, but we're going to tell you the truth. We want you to be saved. You know, our job as Christians is to go out into the world and make disciples of men that all might be saved. That's what Matthew's 28:19. So we're supposed to tell you the truth. But as long as you continue down that road, which you know that's wrong, but it's going to cost you your life, your eternal life, and it's not worth it. It's not worth it because we all want to stand before God, all of us, and we're going to give an account on our lives, how and everything we said and how we lived it. But God said that every mouth shall confess and every knee shall bow. Jesus Christ is Lord. And like if you accept Jesus Christ as your Lord and Savior, you can be saved. You can be saved. So as long as you're alive, you can be saved. But you're not, if you leave this earth without accepting Jesus Christ as your Lord and Savior, that He was the Son of God and He rose again, you can't die and then say, oh, now I believe.
Now the reality got that twisted. No, Democrats need God.
Yeah, they're not like God said, that road to heaven is narrow. And I can see because look how everybody, what they believe in it. I see why God said it's a narrow road. Because people believe the delusions and they believe a lie. You know, something happened. Majority of the times, if a person is gay or he declared himself as being gay, something happened to you. Someone did something to you because you were not born that way. You were not a baby in a hospital and talking about I'm gay. You're not a little kid running around thinking about your sexuality. Something happened. Something happened. And I did a program on the show that I used to be on called Let's Talk About It. And I did all the studies and everything, you know, all the studies. There's no gay gene, there's none of that. Like 99.9% of the time, somebody was molested, they were raped, something happened.
There's a YouTube channel that talks with people.
Yeah.
What happened to them.
Something happened. Something happened. And the way the media is, you got parents trying to influence their kids to be trans. You got parents to influence their kids to be gay. You got this world is so messed up that they're promoting it on TV. You got teachers, the parents are not for it, but you got these teachers giving kids books and teaching kids like it's okay to date Johnny and your name is Paul. You know, so the schools are pushing it.
Yeah, Joshua, you're definitely banned.
You know, the schools have been pushing it. So now the kids are growing up, they got it bad because everyone is pushing that forbidden agenda onto them. And it's sad because not too long ago, we could go 20 years ago, that stuff wasn't on TV. It wasn't men kissing men and women, all this stuff that's going on. It wasn't like this. We didn't even have cell phones maybe 20 years ago. All this stuff is really exposed our children to so much.
Yeah, Joseph, then you obviously want people to go to hell then.
You know, but God is holy and God is without sin. And God is not going to accept your sin. None of us.
No one has been gay since they've been a little kid, dude.
You know, but people don't want to hear. But we are showing you love by telling you the truth. We're not going to go against the word of God. We're not going to go against God. If God says that it's abomination, it's abomination. God don't accept it, then He's the judge. God is going to judge you, but it's your choice. God allows us, if that's the lifestyle and how you want to live, then live it. Live it. If that's what you want and you think it's okay, that you don't see anything wrong with it, then live your life. But there's a second life. It's not this life. It's that second life that you should be concerned about. Because when you leave this earth, that's not the end. That's not the end. You step into eternity then.
Sorry,
And the lake of fire is real. The devil is real. God is real. Angels are real. The spiritual realm is real.
Cyrus, you need to read your Bible, dude.
It's real. And we all are going to answer.
Now, Cyrus is saying there are churches that accept trans and gay people.
But that, if they accept it, then they're abomination. They're doing you a disservice. Because there's nowhere in the Bible does that say to accept it. What those pastors are supposed to do, they're supposed to welcome you in. But they need to tell you the consequences of your sins. They're not supposed to just let their spirit run rapid into the church because it can infect others in there. They're supposed to preach against that lifestyle. They're not supposed to say God loves all of us. But that's what the blood of Jesus is for when we do commit sin, whether it's adultery, whether it's being a transgender, whether it's fornicating, whatever it is, that's what the blood of Jesus is for all our sins, because we all have sinned.
Yeah, I saw this.
But you're not supposed to continue in your sin.
I saw this one pastor that had the guy front and center who was with that lifestyle.
Yeah, you're not supposed to continue in it. That's what the blood is for. You know, Jesus died for all of us, not just for me or my son or people, all of us.
Zachary, what's your proof to that, dude?
And he don't want any of us to be lost. So we want everyone to go to heaven, especially your family. You know, you got to pray for your family. And if there's a mother that have a child like that, you need to be on your knees and fighting for that child's life, because you're fighting for their life. You need to be praying.
Cyrus, read Leviticus 18:22, dude, because you got the Bible totally wrong.
You know, and it's showing love by telling people the truth. You ever have people that go along with a lie? That's not, and then you get in trouble because they didn't tell you the truth.
Yeah.
You know, you gotta, you're not helping people when you don't tell them the truth. And you can't lie to God. You can lie to everybody else, but you can't lie to God.
Oh, Slim, you're in for a rude awakening. I would not want to wake up and realize that you are wrong, dude.
You can't lie to God.
He's saying nothing happens after we die, y'all. LOL, it's like going to sleep. Yeah, you're
going to sleep in a lake of fire. He said that read Revelations. You don't read anything else in the Bible. Read the end. Genesis is the beginning and Revelations is the end. There's 66 books in the Bible. Read Revelations and then come back on here. Because God is telling you everything that's going to happen and what's coming. We are living in the last days. All this stuff that's going on, he destroyed the world before with Sodom and Gomorrah and with Noah. When he had the floods, they were so corrupt. They were doing everything that they're doing now. So you know Jesus is coming back soon. He flooded the earth. That's what the rainbow symbol is about. I mean, the rainbow. That's what that represents. You know, so we're telling you the truth, and you're going to remember this. We're telling you the truth. We're telling you the truth, and that's out of love.
What's your proof to that, Slim and Zachary? Like, you guys are saying stuff with no proof. Thanks, Chevy.
What they said?
No, there's... Here, I'll read it. So, Slim said, man wrote the Bible, dumb A. And Slim said, ain't no God, but it's okay.
Yeah, I think it was 40 authors in 3 different languages that wrote the Bible. It's all inspired by God. If God could create the heavens and the earth, I'm quite sure. And it was over what? I think it spanned thousands of years too. So yeah, the Bible is true. It's a living word.
And it's all in harmony. It's all in chemistry, the Bible. It all goes together.
All goes together.
Nothing's out of place in the Bible because it's written by God. Through men.
Inspired by God. So you can believe it or not. That's God gives us a choice. See, God don't make you believe. He doesn't, he allow us to make choices for ourselves. Who wants somebody, like say you're in a relationship, you want someone to love you because they love you. You don't want someone to love you because of your money or love you because of your reputation. That's not love. They don't really love you. You want someone to love you for who you are, for whom you are. You know, so that's how God is. He's not going to make you love him. He's not going to make you do what you should do, the right things. He's going to allow you to live any corrupt life you want to live. But at the end of the day, we're all going to answer. He's going to hold us accountable for everything we've done. And that's the truth. This is called Speak the Truth 2.0. That is the honest to God truth. This guy, his name is Cam. I think that he did an amazing job.
It's okay. We're pretty small. But
who is that with? Where does that come out from?
On our website, todaysamerica.com, and I also post it on my YouTube. And
you know what?
Well, good for you.
Thank you.
So
tell me a little bit about May Day. Why are you guys out?
Like these people are out here because, like these are some I guess people that
never dye white hair.
Oh, I really want to put this on. This guy's really good. Y'all got to check out his channel.
Yeah.
In Washington, D.C., we're in the National Mall, and this is the May Day protest. So we're going to walk around.
This is today.
We're going to talk to some people and, see why they're out here protesting Donald Trump. I was wondering, why is Trump a traitor?
Because he has turned our country from democracy into a dictatorship.
He was voted in.
But he was conned. He conned everybody.
How did he con it?
He told lies that people believed.
What lie?
What lie? You mean plural?
Yeah, what lie? Name one.
One thing, he took an oath to the Constitution, and that was a lie, because he has flouted the authority of the judicial system, which is meant to be separate but equal. How do you mean?
Separate but equal?
Separate but equal.
That's segregation. What are you talking about? Separate but equal is Plessy v. Ferguson. You mean separation of powers?
Yes.
All right. So what has he done?
I'm speaking. Would you like to interview me?
Yes.
3 separate but equal branches of government, which prohibits the concept of a unitary executive, because a unitary executive is not equal to the other branches.
How is he a unitary executive?
He is trying to consolidate.
Yeah, he gave man free will. That's right.
By the Constitution.
So how is he directly violated our judicial branch?
He has said that federal judges that rule against him are anti-American.
So what? That's not exerting any power.
So what? I'm sorry, we're done.
It's an opinion.
No, it's not an opinion, it's fact.
No, he said an opinion, right? So if he says you're anti-American, it's an opinion, he's not exerting any power.
He is the supreme executive of this country.
What has he done
that? The benefit of the bully pulpit. When he says something, it's not a joke. When he says...
It's his opinion. If I say you're anti-American, that doesn't, I'm not exerting power against you.
The president has command authority.
That's right, Ingrid.
That's not an order.
I'm speaking. I'm going to draw an analogy because you're having trouble following my line of thought.
I think you're having trouble following.
No, I don't think I am. I think I'm rock fucking solid, buddy.
See, they start getting angry.
I'm shaking with rage because I took an oath to defend this Constitution. 23 years of loyal and faithful service, and he's going to call vets suckers and losers.
He never did.
Never said that.
Even John Bolton, who hates Trump, said that he didn't say that.
Bullshit. I will take the word
Where's
of
the
the flag officer who said that he said it.
The flag officer didn't say it.
The flag officer said he said it.
No, he didn't. It was an anonymous source. At
I
the
don't think
Atlantic.
it's anonymous.
It was an anonymous source. I am.
Yes, you are.
Why should we impeach him?
Shame on you. Why? Because he's a traitor. Yes.
Why is he a traitor?
Because he's not following the Constitution.
What is he doing that's not following the Constitution?
He is flouting.
Like what? Everything. You should be able to name one thing.
Well, that's like Congress has control of the money, and he's
not true.
The power of the
no.
Congress has the power.
They have the power to allocate funds. The executive branch has the power to decide where
Tell
funds
them.
go.
They already allocated the funds.
No. So I'll tell you how it works.
They already allocated
you know
the
what?
funds, and he would.
I'll tell you how it works.
I appreciate you being out here in a free press, but I'm leaving because Trump is a traitor and you're a traitor, and I don't entertain traitors.
So the president. So Congress decides. So if Congress says $100,000 to hospitals, right? The executive branch has the ability to decide which hospitals the money goes to. If Congress does not specifically specify exactly where the money goes, the executive has unilateral authority to decide which institutions that money goes to.
You're for a rapist,
How is he a rapist?
It was rape what he did.
What was?
No,
What are you talking about? Raped a 13-year-old girl? You guys are full of shit.
It was adjudicated. What's her name?
You're talking about E. Jean Carroll, who made $1 million while she sued Trump.
E. Jean Carroll.
And he was never proven guilty in a court of law.
Yes, he was.
No, he wasn't. What is the burden of proof in civil court? You know?
Nope.
Preponderance of evidence. It's 51%. Preponderance of evidence. And E. Jean Carroll sued Donald Trump and made millions of dollars on her book while she was suing him.
He has gutted every agency that is for the freedom of people who live here.
Cutting waste, fraud, and abuse.
Bullshit.
No, he is.
What is it?
Chainsaw.
It's a Democrat.
Department, and then he's got to bring him back because we made a mistake.
Like what?
Like with.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
We're just sharing ideas.
And the tariffs, we're getting millions of dollars on certain places, but I know it's ridiculous.
What are you talking about?
So,
Wait, what is fascism?
Oh, I don't need to give
You can't define it because you don't know what it is.
They don't.
You don't know what it is. You can't define it.
a lot more.
You don't know anything. What is fascism?
Don't answer.
Okay, so
Right, because you guys can't answer. What is fascism?
Go away.
I got. What do you mean? That's great. I was just at Game 5 last night.
Why don't you go away?
What do you mean? How do I afford that? Because I have a job. Why aren't you at work?
because I took today off.
Okay. Guys, why should we impeach Trump? This guy's a loser. Why should we impeach Trump? Why are you following? You have a crush on me? Why are you following
That's what
me?
they do. They start following you.
You have a crush on me or what? Ma'am, why should we impeach Trump?
Don't talk to him.
This guy, he has a crush on me. It's alright.
He's trying to baby you.
He has a crush on me. It's fine. He's one of my many loyal fans.
But I followed him around. He's talking to people trying to bait him.
I'm not trying to bait. I'm looking for
He's
a free
really
thing. You have free
good.
speech on your umbrella.
This is Cam.
What's up?
We gotta put we'll try to put it in a link so you can find his channel.
He's not using any rules. He's just thrown out the playbook.
Lie number
He's
10.
deporting people without any kind of due process. He's not listening to judges. He's having federal judges arrested.
Who is he deported without due process?
This guy is
A
good.
whole number of people.
Like who? I mean, there's a whole number. It
Put
should be.
his link in when we get all put
This
the
guy,
link in.
he literally just has a crush on me.
Okay.
He's asked me to go home with him a bunch of times. No, this guy's literally, he's saying I'm attacking him. He's following me around like a lost puppy.
Well, I have to have a break and go get some water.
All right, good luck. Have a nice day.
Thank you.
Kim Higby.
This is my security guard.
No, I'm not affiliated with him.
He's my security guard. He's on volunteer work today. Nice to meet you. I'm Cam. Oh, cool.
Can't put
Nice
it
to
on my
meet you.
laptop.
He's walking around interviewing people.
My husband is just crazy at the hospital. Yeah.
I'm not affiliated with him.
He's my husband. Yeah. Yeah. He is. He loses his mind when he doesn't take his pills.
So that's his approach to.
He'll tell you I'm insulting him and attacking
His name
him.
is
He's
Cam
literally following me around.
Hibby. We're gonna put him in the chat so y'all can follow him.
You like it? Thank you. I was just at Game 5 last night.
It's great.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Doesn't everything
We won.
It doesn't. No, it doesn't. We're here.
I'm an American.
Why are we here?
Smokey the Bear?
And remove the president.
Why?
Trump.
Legal means.
Trump.
Yes, impeachment. Why do we want to impeach him?
We want to impeach him for high crimes and misdemeanors.
What high crimes?
Documented in the articles of impeachment that have already been filed.
What high crimes has he committed?
I don't have the full list, but
You're the media liaison, right? Or the liaison at least.
I'm a liaison of the other groups that are our partners. But
Take his
yes,
oxygen away and he'll go away.
Take my oxygen away.
Just don't
Yeah, his neck is stuck in his shirt.
All right, well, let's celebrate. We won Game 5. Have sweat. Let's go. Perfect.
you'll find it pretty easily.
But can you think of any high crimes he's committed?
I can. For one thing, taking Americans and people who are being processed through immigration legally and sending them to death camps.
Like who? Like who?
There's a long list.
But who are they? There's a long list. You should know them.
I know, we got Kilmar.
Kilmar Obrega Garcia was an MS-13 gang member. Their motto is kill, steal, rape, control.
He is not a member. And
He is. He has an MS-13 tattoo, and no, his wife actually, his wife's former boyfriend filed a federal complaint that he was worried his children were in danger.
That's a lie.
Okay, because he's an MS-13 gang.
He has it up there.
His
All the
wife's boyfriend was lying.
his wife's
You're
former
lying.
boyfriend.
Was lying.
Just have a reason.
Because those kids are his kids. He was concerned that his wife was living with a MS-13 gang.
You're
member.
lying.
She is. You're right. Trump is an immigrant. He's a second-generation immigrant. Both of his wives are first-generation immigrants. Yeah.
All three on the way.
Yeah, all of his kids are second-generation too. Yeah. Except Tiffany.
Yeah,
They love immigrants.
fine for them.
He is one.
But it's not for people from Central America.
Well, you shouldn't come to the country illegally, right? I mean, Obama was the deporter-in-chief. He deported more people than any president in U.S. history.
See, we gotta look in
There's
U.S.
legal
history.
means. And people don't come in through legal means.
I don't cut it up. You watch my YouTube videos.
I
I
understand
long
why people
form.
want them removed. I understand why people would want people who have committed crimes removed. But people who have committed no crimes and are coming in through legal pathways should not be deported.
Well, Kilmar Obrega Garcia was a member of a foreign designated terrorist organization.
No.
He was? Yes, he is.
No.
He is. Why did he? Wait, hold on. So Kilmar Obrega Garcia was under a deportation order. He just couldn't be sent to El Salvador. Why couldn't he be sent to El Salvador? Do you know?
Because they would
Because
kill
he
him.
lies.
Who would kill him? Who would kill him?
It was in this
The
13
rival
gang.
gangs.
But they're no longer
I'm not
in
dating
existence.
anyone. Well, I'm glad I had a good conversation with you.
Goodbye.
It's not gaslighting. Because I have a different opinion than you, that means I'm lying?
You're lying.
How am I lying?
That's how they
What am I
are
lying
on our
about?
chat.
Yeah.
This is the chat.
Being MS-13.
No representative. No, Kilmar Obrega Garcia, not a representative.
MS-13, then why is he not deported?
He is deported. He's in El Salvador.
He's with the people in the concentration camps?
There's no concentration camps.
Sure.
Where's the concentration camp?
Okay, in El Salvador, he's getting paid for every person. Hang on. If you look, they're shaved, they're in boxer shorts and t-shirts, and they walk and they push their heads down so they don't know where they are. That's a
It's a
concentration.
prison for gang members, for killers.
She feeling sorry for them.
How am I lying? You just refuse. Look it up. How is it? What's
in prison and then look at this.
Okay, cool. So what's the point of having your boobs out? What's it like? It's a statement. What's a statement?
Oh my God.
I can't read it. What violence?
Like a podcast or something that's
These people are really out
What
there.
is the statement you're making with the shirt off?
I've been advising people not to get started and watch the
I just want one person here to
This
give
is
me
so
give me
crazy.
an answer of the definition of fascism. Do you know
They
the
don't
definition
know.
of fascism, sir?
No, he doesn't.
You don't know it?
That's my husband. He's following me.
That's your husband. Are you taking him for a walk?
Yeah, I'm taking him for a walk. Yeah,
I call
on a
those my
leash.
dogs.
On a leash.
I
Yeah.
call those my dogs, right?
Yeah.
Are you? Hey, just say what for us, please. Come on, please. That's it. We are pro-America around here.
True. Pro-America. Yeah, I sort of like to know this guy.
I don't know why she had a shirt on.
I don't know if he's like trying to harass
He's
me.
making a statement.
Ma'am, can you tell me a little bit about your outfit? Why
Look
not?
at this. They crazy. Look at this.
What does it mean?
Look at this. What is this?
Alright.
These are Democrats.
Hi, how's it going?
Is that a real person?
Yeah, that's a real
Thank you very much. I
person.
appreciate the offer. Unless would you like to talk about your beliefs or why you're here?
Well, I can speak to you on behalf of Mayday Movement. I am the PIO.
Awesome. Okay, so what is
Where you live?
today's America?
I'm so sorry, I don't know.
It's okay. We're pretty small. But
Who is that with? Where does that come out from?
on our website, today'samerica.com.
Yeah, she was
and
topless.
I also post it on my YouTube and whatever.
Well,
But,
good for you.
thank you. So tell me a little bit about May Day. Why are you guys out?
Mayday Movement has one focus and one focus only: impeach and remove.
Why do we want to impeach Trump?
I think the
Look.
endless problems that have been caused in recent, months
There he
have
is.
been tremendous.
Which problem specifically?
Where do I?
You know that he runs a podcast.
She's the PIO for the protests.
On the MAGA side.
And
Okay.
God bless you.
I'm just making
I
sure.
wish more people were like you.
I am happy to talk with
He's been
you.
walking to people who are unsuspecting, that's all.
No, I asked people questions about their sides.
Actually, I've been given a heads up.
Yeah, I think, okay, great.
So,
I will tell you what my child's sign said. It's where do I start?
Yeah, okay.
Okay. My conclusion is I can sum it up this way. This man has singularly been responsible for American carnage.
Yeah, stop. Look at this. Look at them.
Oh, crap. Hands off before I beat the shit out of you. Leave.
He said,
No.
look, he's trying to roll him
He just
over.
assaulted my cameraman and touched my camera.
No.
Touch my shit, I beat the shit out of you.
You see that?
You were saying.
Uh-huh.
Sorry, I'm not a violent person, but you can't touch my stuff. You know what I'm saying?
It's a public area. It's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay.
He's trying to still rolling him over.
No. He's touching someone. That's a violation.
He assaulted my cameraman and hit my camera.
You're responsible for this movement, please.
Okay, so be responsible for your people. This is your people. He just assaulted my cameraman and touched my camera. Well, I don't know who he, but he's here with your protest, so. I know he's not with your organization,
There's a lot of people here.
but I'd like to just talk about the issue, not this loser for assaulting my cameraman.
I'm sure that if you're keeping up with the news, you're aware that 7 articles of impeachment have been filed.
Yes, from Shree, yeah.
And that's a good start. That's a very good start.
Yeah.
Can you move
And I
on?
think
Hey, outlaw.
19 members of Congress.
Both of you?
Yeah,
Is that a lawful order? Both of you, please. Is that a lawful order? Are you a law enforcement agent?
No.
Okay, great.
We're okay.
That's way
We're
too.
okay.
Yes, thank you.
I guess he's not your people for real. Sorry, you were saying. So articles of impeachment from Shree Tanadar, right?
Yes.
So what do you think Trump should be impeached for?
Well, I think the articles of impeachment are a very good start. I think selling meme coins and selling access to the White House
Hey,
is
outlaw.
one of the problems.
How is he selling access to the White House?
He
Elijah.
sells meme coins. and if you spend enough money, you can get
I was gonna
access
name
to
him
the
that.
White House and
It's
access to the
funny.
United States president.
Ding, ding.
Sorry, I lost my train of thought.
Yeah, the membership starts at $4.99 a month. Yeah, that was the cheapest one. I think they even had on there.
Here,
And you know, I have to tell people about the membership. I haven't been doing that. Just started it. Someone suggested it.
and
Just impeachment.
impeach and remove. That's it.
You say Elijah. Yeah, it's gonna be Isaiah. Yeah.
Pro-choice. We have one focus, and one focus only. Mayday movement is working to impeach and remove the President of the United States. That's Mayday movement.
What crimes?
Yeah, 100 days they trying to impeach him.
I think you.
Got to give him a chance, like they gave Biden.
We've got
4 years.
From the 7 articles of impeachment from the congressman. And we have legal scholars.
off his yesterday.
Oh, got your notification up before. Okay, it's a notification. Good.
Farther in depth. But the message is simple. There are 52%
We got to see how it comes on. You say you got the
has
notification
already
before you came on
have
live.
already been recorded as favoring impeachment and removal.
Appreciate you talking to me. I love the nice discussion.
Oh, thank
Contrary
you,
to
Happy
public
Matt.
belief, I'm not here for trouble.
That's entertainment a long time. God bless you.
God bless you.
Thank you.
Glad you enjoy.
I don't care what your political beliefs are.
You as well. That was really
And if you are going to stand with us on this one issue,
Impeachment, 100 days.
Yeah, I
Unbelievable.
wish there were more people like you who were.
I assure you, this is the main.
Talking,
We
communicating.
have allies left and right. We will stand shoulder to shoulder
Yeah,
with
I know.
anyone who shares our mission to impeach and remove the President of the United States.
Well, I can't say I share your conviction, but I appreciate you chatting with me. Have a good day.
Oh, okay. I got to find out about that, outlaw.
He tells him not to.
Do you have a day job? I'm just wondering.
This is my day job.
You're causing trouble?
I'm not causing trouble. What trouble am I causing? Huh?
You're looking at.
Thank you,
No, I'm not.
Pink. Love
I'm
you.
looking for discussions with people.
I'll come over to your house and talk to you about it.
I live very far away. No, we're not gonna hang out in my house. Well, I'm not scared of you. I'm scared of, if I give somebody my address, suddenly it's on Twitter and there are people with guns showing up at my house harming my family. Well, it's just not a risk I'm willing to take. So, I've had a lot of people do really scary things to my home address, and I'm not trying to repeat that. I've had people send me satellite images of my girlfriend's house. It's scary. Well, we're in a polyamorous relationship.
I don't think you are. You're just not material.
What? I'm not gay? You don't think I'm gay?
I think we do.
You think I'm weird? I think you're weird. Oh man. Well, it was nice talking to you.
I'm not gonna shake your hand.
Oh, come on. Can't we just be people? Come on. For unity. For unity. For unity. Why? Am I not human? Am I sub-human?
He gonna take care of that. So, outlaw ain't playing.
Have a lovely smile. Have a nice day. Yeah. Sir, who is burning books?
So you know, he's interviewing people trying to get them to say so.
Has Trump burned any books?
Yeah.
This is my husband. He's just silly when he's off his meds. So who's burning books? Is Trump burning books? Ma'am, what makes you believe that Trump is a Russian asset?
Because he's doing everything to support Russia and nothing to support the allies.
Yeah, cool. Wow.
I got no mention there.
Because I was at the game last night.
Okay. Sure. What's your TikTok? You have a TikTok jersey?
Cam Higby, yeah.
So what's your TikTok?
It's just my name, Cam
Look
Higby.
at that.
Camp what?
Cam Higby, it's just my name.
All right, I'll look you up.
Sorry, you were saying.
I don't think he should have gave him his because he seemed kind of weird.
Suspect.
Okay, I'll look you up. Why, if you're going to be at a protest, that you have to have a whole mask on like that?
Imagine if a black guy was wearing that.
What does he support that Russia does?
He wants to be a dictator. He wants to. He's selling Ukraine out.
These are talking points from CNN,
For an idiot.
He's not. So,
MSNBC.
First of all, he doesn't support Russia and the invasion of Ukraine.
I didn't say he supported it. He's
He
selling.
said he supported everything Russia did.
Selling Ukraine out right now.
How?
By taking away support.
He's not taking away support. He's still supporting Ukraine. We're still sending money.
No, he's not.
We are actively sending aid to Ukraine right now. No.
Oh my goodness. This is what they do.
He is selling them out. The plot is on his.
Hit it, brother. Yeah. Speak. What's up?
TikTok?
Yeah, I'm on TikTok.
What's your name?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice to meet you.
How are you doing?
Good. How are you?
Left or right?
I'm right.
I figured.
You want to talk to him now?
Chat?
Sure, we can chat.
Okay, I can see what your sign says.
What side you want?
Whichever one you prefer. Okay, democracy is worth fighting for. Can you tell me what that means to you?
Okay, first of all, I'm a 20-year veteran.
Okay, thank you for your service.
No problem. And democracy means freedom. And it don't mean signing an executive order to arrest Americans.
Yeah,
and
you're
send
right,
them abroad.
outlaw.
What American was arrested and sent abroad?
I'm not saying that. He signed an executive order last night that allows him to arrest, or he thinks it does. He thinks it allows him to arrest American citizens and deport them. That was signed last night.
I was busy last night. I didn't see it. Let me look it up.
He's already deported Americans.
Who?
The children.
The child wasn't deported. The parents were deported. They asked their child to go with them.
That is still, there's still, put them on a plane. They have due process. They are allowed due process in the United States.
They were deported via court.
Even the immigrants are allowed due process. You are completely running over the Constitution.
Trump is an immigrant.
And I have no problem with immigrants being deported. But due process has to be followed.
They were deported via court order.
Of this president not obeying the Constitution of the United States. And by signing that executive order last night, he is not giving me the right to protest. That is wrong.
You are protesting.
I'm not getting
I'll give you one.
You get mine now.
I'll let you bum one. You want one?
And let's see, what else?
Oh, sorry, dropped it. Want a fresh one?
Yeah, you can try this one. There you go. What flavor is it?
It's I think it's full mint.
I got
You gave him a breath mint?
Almonds.
Yeah.
So the parents, or the child, the 2-year-old, was not deported. The 2-year-old's parents were deported, and they requested their child go with them.
Okay.
Yeah, he
Well,
forgot about
let's
the
take another
Patriot
one.
Act.
Okay. I not only am a retired veteran, 20 years.
Thank you for your service.
I also worked at the NIH.
Okay.
Just recently retired. They are taking so much research money away from NIH that they cannot continue
Here we go.
research they've already started.
Research
Now,
for
you tell me
transgender
what sense
mice.
that makes.
Well, I think it makes it. They were like trying to gender transition mice. So I think like that's why.
No.
Yeah, they
Is that
were.
what's really going on?
Yes.
Is that what's really
Yes.
going on?
Okay.
I worked there.
Come here. It's not transgender mice, it's transgenic, meaning that their genes are the same so they can study them. It's transgenic.
No, they were gender transitioning mice. They're doing transgenic too. I was having such a respectful conversation.
Nazi!
What is a Nazi?
Nazi!
Why would they spend money to experiment to transgender some mice? Crazy.
That's cool. They have a crush on me. I should.
Crazy. There's no such words.
What? Why do you want to fuck Trump? Why do you want to fuck Trump? You have a crush on him? Why do you want to fuck him so bad? No? You were just saying it so proud. Why do you want to have sex with him?
Everybody get loud for the fascists!
What's a fascist?
For the fascists!
Can you define fascism?
For the fascists! Loud for the fascists! Loud for the fascists! Oh, you overlive fascists!
Here they go.
Loud for the fascists! Loud for the fascists!
Look at this.
Loud for the fascists!
She's
Thank you so much. No, I'm good. Yeah, I'm getting old. Ma'am, why are we pissed? Love the hat. You look lovely.
the truth could slap you in the face, Mr. Garrett, and you still don't get it. Sad.
What the fuck me? Why do you want to have sex with me? That was weird. That was a weird thing to say. All right.
Unbelievable. Stay on that plantation.
They keep saying they want to f me. I don't know what's going on. Why do you want to have sex with Trump? What is a fascist? What is a fascist?
Thank you, Chef.
You guys don't know what a fascist is. Actually, fascists would refuse political discourse. It's a really, really weird thing to say, that you want to have sex with Trump. Don't talk to me. Fascists would prevent people from talking.
Don't be a fascist.
I talked to your PIO earlier.
I don't know you. I don't care.
She was great. We had a great discussion. Ask her.
Great.
She's a shorter woman, same best as you. May days. But I'll talk to her right now. We shook hands. It was great. What is a fascist? You're the one calling me a fascist. You should know what it is when you say it. What is it? You don't know. I do know.
Tell me.
I want to hear from you first, and I'll tell you. Okay, great. Because you have no idea what it is.
I know.
13 points. A fascist is going to be somebody who supports an authoritarian government, usually through controlling the media and other industry. You guys don't know what a fascist is. I'm not trying to get anyone riled up. I'm not trying to get anyone riled up. You're already riled up.
That's the truth.
Evidently, you're not, Paul. Ma'am, what is a fascist? What is a fascist?
Keep moving.
I know, but what is a fascist, though?
Apparently you don't have Google, so let me help you.
No, without Google. You're the one calling people fascists. You shouldn't need a dictionary to assist
No,
you.
I said reject fascism.
So what is a fascism? What is fascism? If you're saying reject it, you should probably know what it is, right?
Oh, I do.
What is it then?
You apparently don't.
No, what is it?
Fine.
I know what it is, but I don't think you know what it is.
Okay, then tell me, what is it?
Look
I want
at
to hear from you
this.
first. I'm happy to tell you, but I want to hear from you
Educate
first.
me. Educate me.
Are you admitting you don't know?
No, I'm not. I'm
Okay.
asking
Fascism
you.
is going to be an authoritarian government generally that nationalizes private industry, especially the media, and controls narratives. They're obsessed with control, especially on what people think. That's what a fascist is. You don't know what a fascist is.
Oh, I don't?
Yeah, repeat it. What is it?
You just told me. You're educated.
What is
You're
it?
telling me.
Do you remember?
So
What is
you
it?
just tell me.
What is it?
I don't know. Will you tell me?
Okay, great, because you don't know.
No, you.
You're saying reject fascism. You have no idea what it means.
Yeah, I know history. Do you know history?
I absolutely do. I'm not harassing. We're in public property. We're just
I
talking.
don't know. You did kind of come up behind me.
I'm just talking to you.
Well, that's fine. Keep move on.
Well,
Enjoy yourself.
sir, what is wrong with you? Don't you have like a job? Like, what are you
I
doing?
don't you?
I do. I'm doing it right now.
Oh, so who do you work for?
It's on the microphone. But why does it matter? So you should. Why are you asking me?
Why are you asking me
What's the point?
questions?
I'm asking you questions about what you're here for, not about your private life.
I'm here because what is happening in our country is not okay. This isn't normal.
What is not okay?
What do you mean, what is not okay?
Like what specifically? Sorry, I didn't hear what you said. What specifically is not okay?
We can talk about
Yes.
lack of due process.
Okay, where has there been a lack of due process?
Do you not watch the news?
No, I'm just asking you. Where?
However you book your flight, first check Kayak to search and compare flight prices
Well,
from
that's
hundreds of
enough of them. But anyway, that's an example. That's the people that's on the chat. It's the same thing. Like he's putting up Cam, what's his name, Hybrid? Something like that. He's making all the points and he's putting it up. And they're saying things they don't know the definitions of, and that's how no matter how much truth you put in front of them, it doesn't matter.
I think it's Cam Hilgeby.
Yeah. Well, we subscribe, but we put it up so people can see. But he's doing an amazing job, and he's putting it up, and they're not challenging him because he hits back. You know, he doesn't do one-way fights. He hits back.
It's not Nick Shirley.
Yeah, Nick Shirley go out there. They beat him up. They bully him. They bully everyone else. But yeah, he comes right at them. I just want to show a little bit more. We're ready to get off of here because we've been on here for a while. But
I'm just talking to you.
That's fine.
Want to show this. Don't forget to hit the like, share, and subscribe.
Sir,
Thank
what is
you.
wrong with you? Don't you have like a job? What are you doing?
Don't you?
I do. I'm doing it right now.
Oh, so who do you work for?
It's on the microphone. But why does it matter? So you should. Why are you asking me?
Yeah,
Why are
this
you
is
asking me questions?
so
I'm asking you
wonderful.
questions about what you're here for, not about your private life.
I'm here because what is happening in our country is not okay. This isn't normal.
Don't even know why they're out there.
What do you mean it's
Sad.
not okay?
What specifically? Sorry, I didn't hear.
Okay,
What specifically is
so
not okay?
we can talk about
Yes.
lack of due process.
Okay, where has there been a lack of due process?
Do you not watch the news?
No, I'm just asking you. Where do you see a lack of due process?
Yeah.
Due process.
That's the talking points for the
memo
Democrats. The
MS-13
word is due
who was deported?
process.
And your evidence is where?
It's on his knuckles. His wife's ex-husband filed a complaint with the government that
That's
he didn't
the
feel his
complaint.
children were safe in the house while his wife was with a gang member.
Fake.
How is it fake?
I'm trying.
Show me your evidence.
Thank you,
Sure.
Eric.
If you're gonna show me that Photoshop picture,
It's not photoshopped. It's not photoshopped. So why does his wife
Thank you, Donnie.
cover his knuckles in every photo between the two of them?
Look at that. Yeah, she's covering
Every
the
photo with him and
knuckles.
his wife, she covers his knuckles.
So,
Because my girlfriend doesn't cover my tattoos. I was at the game last night. I don't know why my personal life
but
matters.
anyway,
That's-
this goes on. This is just an example, and he's doing a great job. It goes on and on, but you know, when you're trying to talk to people and get through people, this is like, I hope some of the Democrats on here can see what they sound like to us and what they look like. You know, they're standing for a party that doesn't have an agenda, doesn't have a leader, not making any sense, that's gaslighting the American people, that they're the ones that they should be having the big rallies. They should be having against the Democrats, but they have flipped the script and they're blaming Trump that's only been in office 100 days, as though he was president for the last 4 years. And that's why I started the channel, because when he won November the 5th, 2024, I was like, they're going to blame him for everything that they are responsible for. And I want to make sure that they carry the burden of what they have done to this country. And we need to hold them accountable. Why should they be in office? And their concerns is more about what they have, the problems they have caused us. The illegal immigrants didn't cause this. We had administration that were that wanted their votes. They wanted to legalize them. It's all about the Benjamins, and it was all about power. And since they lost the election, they thought, okay, we got to come up with something else. So now they was giving the talking points. Oh, due process. That's the new Democrat language. Oh, they need due process. But they didn't need due process to bring them in the country. And the previous presidents, and they said Obama had deported more immigrants, illegal immigrants, than any other president in the history of the United States. But no one had a problem with that. But that's all. Now they're fighting to impeach a president that's only been in office for a little over 100 days. That's done more in the last 100 days for this country than the previous administration did for the last 4 years. And with no transparency, they didn't even talk to the American people. They are responsible for these wars. They're responsible for everything that's going on. But we get ready to jump off. Do you want to say something before you get off of here? Are you good?
Yeah. I don't know how people can respect a party that something else they did was lie about Joe Biden's mental health for years.
Yes, for years.
That's another thing people don't talk about. They lied about his mental condition for years. You trust a party that's going to just lie to you, lie to the American people about the president's health?
And why did he pardon his family, the entire family? I mean, why isn't that being questioned? Why did he pardon his son for 10 years? I mean, good God. Why did they open up the borders? Have them answer that. Ask the Democrats, what was the purpose of that? They didn't have to do that. Why did they fly them in? Why did in the middle of the night? Why did they bust them to different sanctuary cities? Why are they allowing the sanctuary cities to protect criminals? It's like so much is going on that they're not being held accountable. And it's not the people that came into this country. It's the ones that allowed this to happen. And nobody's holding them. Republicans are holding them responsible, but they're not outspoken like the Democrats. You know, they act like election is still going on, that they're going to make the most noise and they're going to overshadow the people. We, the people that voted for this president to be in office.
Like you were saying, having the America First rally, Republicans need to start having more rallies.
Yeah,
because there's always a Democrat rally going on.
And that's what
501 and crap.
Yeah, 50-51, 50 days, 50 people in one day. No, it's 50, it's 50 people, 50 protests in one day. That's the 50-51. And they had the hands off. And see, they're really organized. They have activists and they get people together and don't even give them a mission. They don't even know why they're out there. They can't answer any questions. They just go with the talking points. And the new one is due process. Impeach him. And they go out there, and that's why he's questioning him. These people, Cam is questioning them. And he's putting the facts up. Everything they're saying that they believe in is a lie. And he was numbering all the lies.
Yeah, and that just shows how much the mainstream media's in their head. He's asking them, what's fascism? And none of them could say what it actually was. They got signs saying stop it and we're against it. They can't even tell you what it is.
They don't know. They don't even know what they're fighting
fake
for.
Media BS that gets implanted into their brain.
And with that, the media is powerful. When you keep hearing something over and over and over again, they start believing it. And the people that's done all this are just gaslighting them, and they're not being held accountable. They should be protesting them and asking them for answers. But that's what we're doing. We're demanding for them to answer us and to hold them responsible for what they've done to this country. Now Trump has the task of undoing in 4 years, which is impossible. That's how come whoever's going to follow them, they still going to have some big shoes to fill, because it's going to take more than 4 years to straighten out the damage that previous party had done to this country. Because they, from wars to inflation to interest to illegal immigration, all this, and then they say, okay, we could still brainwash these Democrats, have them fighting for our mission, for what we have done to the country. But we already made Trump the boogeyman. We already made Trump the villain.
Yeah, like Democrats, have you ever just stopped and thought about, this is one of the crazy things you could just think about and question.
Yeah,
but
that's
have you ever questioned why, not just why are we giving so much money to Ukraine, but why were they giving money to the Taliban? Have you ever thought about that? Does that seem like something that we should be doing? America should be funding the Taliban?
Why do we hightail it out of Afghanistan when we have the strongest and the biggest military in the world, and we're going to, just leave all our equipment there in Afghanistan, allow them to rebuild, and now they're working on a nuclear bomb? I mean, that's under Joe Biden. I mean, he's done so much to this country, and they're protesting Trump.
And then the Taliban was showing off the weapons and equipment they
talking about it's a new day. Yeah. You could thank America. You could thank Biden for that.
Yeah, thank Biden, not America.
Biden and Kamala, the administration, they were treacherous. Yeah. And they don't care about Americans. They don't care about the illegal immigrants. All they care about is power. And they don't care what happens to this country. And that's the truth.
They don't care about you.
They don't care. This is all about the Benjamins. It's all about power. And that's why they're pushing this due process, because they want them to be able to vote so they can override American citizens, because they got enough Democrats that are brainwashed to drink the Kool-Aid, and they know they can't beat the citizens the way that it is, because we have already proven that by voting this election. Even though they still had them voting, millions voted, but Trump made it too big to rig, that they couldn't steal this election. But they allowed the immigrants to vote, and black people are locked in. No matter what you do to black people, they locked into the Democratic Party. 93% of black people still voted for a party that has done nothing for us as a community.
See,
nothing.
That's why Trump now is dealing with the birthright citizenship stuff going on, trying to stop that.
It has done more harm to us than any other presidency. Was that presidency when Biden was the author of the 1994 crime bill that caused mass incarceration. You take the head of a household, you're destroying a community of people. And that's what he's done. That's just another form of slavery, locking black men up and having them work for pennies on the dollar, taking away their youth, putting them in there for 30, 40 years. That has to stop. Trump comes around with the First Step Act, and that allowed millions of people to come out of jail. What Biden had done, and it's terrible. So when you do the two comparison, Trump have done more for black people in a positive way than what Biden did in a negative way, a horrific way. He tried to destroy our community, and we voted for him. That's how brainwashed we are, and that's the influence of the media. And that's because we're not studying policies. We're looking at identities. We're not looking at what they're doing for our community. They make all these promises that they don't keep. I mean, they've been making promises for 60 years, and it's the same crap going on. And who's made a difference has been Trump. Isn't that ironic? Not Obama, not Biden, not Clinton. It's Trump that has made a positive difference in the black community. and he's trying to continue to make a positive impact for all Americans. All Americans. Thank you. Thank you. Strictly Corrode. Thank you so much. God bless you. Yeah, so, you know, we got to keep on speaking the truth. But we thank you guys. It's going on 12. He got school tomorrow, college, got work. We got stuff to do. But this is so important. Thank you, Chevy. We love you, Outlaw. Thank you, guys. You are the best. And we have a new monitor. What was her name? I don't know if she's still on here, but thank you so much. I know it's late. People got to go to work. So, you know, we just want to thank you guys. I know people are here from all over the world, actually. So a lot of times it's people in, where are you guys from? The people that's still on here. Anybody from California or England, or where are you guys watching us from? Because like a lot of times, like people are watching from all over the world. So anyway, we just want to thank you guys. Okay, Wisconsin, North Carolina, South Boston, Planet Earth. Oh, welcome to Earth. Ohio. California. You stuck up on Pittsburgh, USA. Massachusetts. Born in the USA. California. God bless all of you guys, you know, for taking the time out to you know, spend time with us. And you know, God bless you. And we probably going to check in tomorrow. Like people say, you know, we try to come on. But anyway, God bless you. Take care. Don't forget to hit the like, share, and subscribe. And yes, I do have a new membership, and I am going to look into it because I didn't set it up by myself to see if we could do it like $1.99 for memberships a month, so you guys can join. And what we're going to do, people who do become members, we're going to bring them on live. That'll be part of the membership, that we'll bring you guys on live onto our stream. And some of the faithful ones as well. You don't have to join. We're going to bring you on. So anyway, you guys, God bless you. Take care. And leave a comment. You know, do you agree with Trump having that DHS app, you know, that's going to allow people to self-deport, and it's going to save American citizens because it costs us $17,000 per person. But with the app that Trump has, it'll cost us $4,500. So no matter what, we're paying for them to come in, and we got to pay for them to leave. But it's cheaper if they self-deport. So anyway, God bless you guys. Love you. And we'll see you the next stream. Thank you guys. Bye.